show.
It means people at home
You know,
who...
we could start the show when you start the video.
We could, but it's very hard to line up.
How much do you edit out of this?
Not much.
Not much. Just
I
the
wish I hadn't said that.
just the pre-show stuff usually. But that's probably gonna make it as a bumper.
I was gonna say that's good.
Yeah, that's quality experience right there.
I wish we'd
Dead
had our
air.
last podcast.
Oh no.
No, we're not actually recording.
Oh, we're not.
I mean, well, we're recording, but we're not like
We haven't
this
started the
isn't
show.
productive.
Oh, we're
time.
not. Okay.
You know, you heard how I start the show. So,
I don't know the production.
so like, I'm
process.
gonna start the show and I'll introduce everyone. I'll introduce them.
Okay. Well, as long as you.
From then on,
yeah,
we don't want dead air. My lip rings.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, like, I know when to go.
Yeah. Just flip the switch on.
Yeah, when to start fucking with you.
I'm not ready for this. I've known you my whole life, and I'm not ready for this.
No, it's just I'm just gonna be confrontational. That's all.
All right.
Hypermanic.
Okay, good. I'm excited for podcast Derek
Upstairs.
with my big brother. Should I cite your Twitter in here?
I guess.
Okay. I'm
You
putting
know what I
Twitter.
did actually? I bought the domain name yourderek.com.
So you can make like that sweet blog that you've always been meaning to make.
Well, you know, I want to have a blog anyway, but I made that just so in the future, and I do intend to try stand-up comedy. But if I do have like any videos of me doing stand-up, I'll put them up on the site.
Yeah, I was watching Lewis Black's latest stint on Netflix, and out of curiosity, I had my computer next to me, and he was like, "Well, I'll just call it lewisblack.com." It's like, what else can you call it? He's like, "Well, can I call it titty.com?" And I went to titty.com, and it redirects to lewisblack.com.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
That's great.
I actually saw that Colbert did something like that with
Am I smelling
With
the
a book.
burp through the mic? It doesn't work that way.
That
No, it doesn't.
damn it.
I kind of... Yep, sorry.
you know, you very likely smell it simply through the air.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what I
you were.
was-
I mean, I was like right in your direction.
Yeah, he was like
In your
aiming
general
for you.
direction.
All right, let me pull up the YouTube thing, and then we should get going. Are you ready? You got topics ready? Everybody good?
Yeah. I changed mine last minute.
Are you gonna tell us both, regardless?
No.
That's probably what's
Yes.
gonna happen.
No.
Yeah, you will.
I actually have another topic too, as well, besides my bad drug pickup story. Bad online dating experiences.
Oh.
I've only had one good online dating experience though. Damien's got plenty though. Oh my goodness.
Like my
I've
past.
actually asked people out through Twitter and through Words with Friends. So I've gone out. I mean,
Words
if you,
with
that's-
Funny, I've
Also-
ended relationships through Twitter and Words with Friends.
it's a much better way to end a relationship than to begin one.
All right, let's do this. I don't even remember how I opened this show.
I'm Alex O'Neill, and this is my second podcast because one just isn't.
This is
good
like his
enough.
ninth.
This is technically
Technically, your second.
my sixth that I've ever been a part of. Yeah, from the get go.
You always start off like really ill.
Hey, well.
Oh, you
Right.
know, on episode 15, you have to have a Mexican theme and call it your quinceañera. Atención, everyone! It's my quinceañera, episode 15.
Oh, the timer's done. I'm gonna take the meat out of the freezer.
All right. If you want to grab a glass for me, I'll partake.
Yeah. Damien would like some too, right, Damien?
Sure. Why am I talking to the mic when you're right here?
Well, because we can burp through each other through the mic as well. So
Who invented the microphone?
some guy named Michael, I think. No, that'd be wrong.
Is there any proof that like Benjamin Franklin invented the light bulb? Or
No, that's not true.
Franklin didn't invent the light bulb.
Thomas Edison didn't even invent the light bulb.
I
He
thought
just
Thomas
had
Edison invented peanut butter.
peanut butter.
George Washington Carver, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, good old GWC.
This is a cork, right?
It's
No.
probably one of those pull-out corks. It's not too expensive. They actually had some nice expensive ones, but I wasn't sure if you would like it or not.
Did you want some?
No, I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
Yeah, it's a black cork. No, it's actually just a cap.
Well, that's fancy. Ever had wine like that? Looks like alcoholic water.
This is
Why is the glass on the left a lot darker than the one on the... Okay, never mind. What does that taste like?
It's very, very sweet.
Essentially, like if whiskey is from potatoes and all that, this is from honey.
From honey?
Yeah. I may have to try a sip.
I learned this at a wine tasting. You're supposed to swirl.
It's not wine.
Just don't spit it back in the glass, Damien.
Yeah. I won't do that.
You're gonna like it.
And then you want to get the legs of the wine or the Fort Meade
Oh, yeah.
or mead.
Oh yeah.
That's
You just say
pretty good.
Fort Meade.
You're gonna love it, Damien.
You just gave me his glass. I feel bad. Well,
Would you have felt better if you had had Damien's glass? Out of the two options?
I mean, I didn't know if I had the choice. I mean, that's like Sophie's choice right there.
It tastes like really sweet honey that just fell in some vinegar.
Are you offering it to me? Or are you just setting it that far away? 'Cause-
Tastes
I
like
didn't
really
know
sweet
if
honey.
this
That
was mine.
no, that is
tastes like
yours.
really sweet honey
Oh.
that fell in some vinegar, kind of. Yeah,
Right. It
Yeah,
does.
you
that's the.
It's really fucking good.
That's really fucking good.
For me, later.
That's
What?
not bad. Oh, no, thanks. I had a little bit. It'll ruin my palate for Natick Bow.
For
By the way, that was $10 a bottle in case you want to spend money on your own.
damn, that's
And
pretty
that
good for that.
that was at
I thought he was
whatchamacallit,
about to say Case
Perfect
Short.
pour?
Perfect Bowl.
I went there 3 minutes after they closed the other day, and I was sad.
I went to Little Caesars 20 minutes after they closed last night. I was very sad.
That's disgusting.
20 minutes,
Pretzel
that's not
pizza.
very close.
Is that when I saw you come home with what, Taco Bell?
No,
Okay,
I'd come home after that, and then I went and got Taco Bell.
gotcha. I like destroyed my toenail when I was walking back from a walk around Lake Elkhorn, and I was coming, and I saw Alex. I was coming. I was about to go past my van, and I saw that Alex was pulling up into his parking space, and I was like, "Let me go say hi." And then I was like behind my van, so he couldn't see me, and I was like, I stopped for a second. I was like, or I could scare him. So I ran out and like threw myself on the hood of his car. And, like,
I'm glad I
flailed
saw
around
you
for
a
second.
little out of my peripheral before you jumped on my car because I would have killed you.
Jeez.
And my big toe went entirely under his front tire, and it ripped off the whole part that wasn't attached to my foot.
Jeez.
I have yet to amend that situation, but it's not a good one.
You okay, Damien?
So you ripped up? No, I was just.
I didn't rip up my toenail,
Oh.
but I ripped off the whole part of the toenail that wasn't attached to my toe.
So
It hurts.
So the part that you should have trimmed.
The part that needed to be trimmed,
Oh.
but like it got ripped off by a tire.
But Alex's
If you can
tire,
imagine that,
He did it anyway. Alex did it for you.
So
it's jagged. Like the whole way, it's like.
so Ethan was about to come when Alex was pulling out, and then he stubbed his toe.
Yeah, I was pulling in.
He was pulling in.
Oh, he was pulling in.
Yeah.
He was docking.
It was docking.
Are you familiar with
know what
docking?
yes, I'm familiar with docking.
What do you think I
Jesus
am, a
Christ.
fucking savage?
I'm the kind of person that tells people what docking is, Alex.
That's me too. So
It's
No,
the
what I
word.
tell
It actually says that on
Especially-
his business card.
I know what docking is.
Especially when there's like some like smegma in between.
It just says, ask me about docking. That's what it says. Ask me about docking and other services.
Alex, if you ever start working at the Apple store, you should have that on your name tag.
Ask me about docking.
Which I guess technically works in both terms. You do
Oh shit!
take your penis and touch other males' penises.
Ask me about
You do-
docking.
Yeah, it
And how to
happens all the
not
time
bend your
at the
iPhone
Apple
6
store.
Plus.
And not bend. Do you know the 6 Plus has a bend-in problem? If your pants are too tight, it'll bend it. So be careful.
So if you shop at Hot Topic, you can't own one.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have like if I have pants and my phone is like you can see its contour and shape through my pants because they're so tight. Then yeah, I agree. That's not good.
Yeah.
Have we started the show yet?
Yeah, we're about to. Hey guys, welcome to Roommates. I am Alex O'Neill. With me, I have my two lovely friends. Damian Brown is here,
What's cracking?
and Ethan Spangler is here.
What's crack-a-lackin'?
Unfortunately.
And this week, we promised it last time we recorded. We hyped it up. He is here. My big brother, Derek O'Neill, is here.
Hey.
Hey guys. How you doing, Derek?
I'm doing great, Alex. How are you doing?
I'm good. Is this your first podcast?
My first podcast, yeah, actually, though I did have a radio show in college, which was kind of cool.
You always bring that up.
I always bring that
Yeah.
up.
I've never heard
like-
it, so I think that's a little bit too much hyperbole there.
Just
You always bring that up. You
Constantly.
launch that at me. Fuck you.
just constantly like, well, I had a radio show in college.
This is my third podcast.
This
Did
is
you
my
know that?
sixth podcast.
You know, my biggest story about having my radio show when I was in school in Boston was dumpster pizza. I mean, that was my it wasn't just on the radio. That wasn't the big story.
You ate dumpster pizza?
Yeah, of course, we had dumpster pizza. I mean, there was a place called, I guess it was Uptown Pizza.
Updog?
Excuse me. You fed me beer. I had to burp.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, it was called Uptown, I believe. No, Upper Crust. Upper Crust Pizza. It was on Beacon Street. It was on Charles Street in Beacon Hill. And we
Okay.
used to go up there because they closed at about 10:30, and our radio show started at 11. So we'd head over there around 10:15, 10:30. And they were throwing out all their pizza for the day, and we just grab whatever pizza we saw in the dumpster, and then hightail it back down to downtown and get to our radio show.
Did you guys ever review the pizza?
Oh, we talked about it all the time on the show. We did it for a couple. The third week, we found that they'd like sprinkled powdered bleach all over the pizza. Like they weren't just content to like. They wanted to kill somebody.
Well,
I mean, they
this
wanted-
pizza was a 6.5, but I decided to change my review to a 2.0 when I discovered that it was actually just covered in bleach.
When I discovered my throat was bleeding.
I knew it was risky to throw in a Meat Lovers at 9:30, 15 minutes before we closed, but I figured somebody would want it. Oh well, better cover it in bleach so somebody who really needs this dies. I hate those people. Fuck them.
At least they're thinking ahead, right?
Ethan knows like that. He's eaten out of a dumpster before, so
Yeah.
I mean, it was the same sort of principle as like to give a man a fish is to feed him for a day. You know, to feed a man a poisoned fish is to feed him for the rest of his life. But you've heard that one.
yeah, totally. That's a good old nursery rhyme.
Nursery
Is
rhyme.
that because, that's because he.
It's 'cause he dies.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't have much life left to live.
I don't know if you fed him like a lot of poison fish.
No, just one.
Well, it depends on what kind of mood
You
you're
fed
in.
him enough poisoned fish so that you wouldn't have to eat again.
You don't want to see somebody die of poison. That's for sure. Like they don't just,
Croak.
fall over and go, "Oh, expired." No, they vomit a bunch of times. They like bleed, and there's like eyes bleeding, and they choke on their tongue before they actually die of anything else. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, this is really starting on an upbeat.
Upbeat.
Other than bleach pizza, welcome to Roommates. We all live together except for my brother. He doesn't live here, and Damien doesn't live here either.
I'll never live here again.
I don't even remember what the premise of this show is. Again,
Isn't it a bunch of people talking about stories, sharing their tales?
yeah, we have
Problems they've encountered?
we have a bring your own topic format. We all have topics that we've brought to the table. As Damien unceremoniously destroys my microphone.
Are all these topics going to be a surprise? Should we talk about it now? Maybe give a little table of contents preview.
Table of contents.
I don't know.
No, I like the
We
surprise
started to do
factor.
the surprise thing, yeah.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Ethan and I have had enough conversations of like, oh, this is crazy. I'll save it for the show, and just like completely back off of it and ignore whatever was happening.
I have a story from something that happened recently.
All right.
So I think I was going to download a movie online. I can't remember exactly what I was doing, but I was
Perfectly
online.
legally.
Oh, entirely. And there was a pop-up ad that was like, or no, it wasn't that. I was watching something, I think on Hulu, and there was an ad that came up. That's what it was.
It was
Yeah.
just the breasts jiggling.
No, it wasn't that. But rather, let me start this off what I believe to be the more accurate way. I was watching Hulu and an ad came up and they were like, we'll give you $100 and we'll track your internet search history. And I think that that's actually how they come up with what you were talking about the other day on, I think, 2 podcasts ago. The live porn search.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think people get $100 and they're like, yeah, here you go.
They're like, I'm gonna have
And then they
fun
just
today.
take the internet search history and then just dump it in there. I think that's what that is.
Well, like that's
And
like,
I thought about all that would go into where I would have to be in my life to accept $100 for them to track my internet search history.
That's a live feed. So Derek, the porn search engine, porn.md. I'm sorry, Damien. I know you hate it when we bring up porn.
I thought the internet was a porn search engine.
Well, yes, but like this one searches like the big porn website.
Theinternet.com.
And they have this new feature they've added, which they call live search, hashtag live search. And you can just see what people are searching in real time.
Oh, that's
And,
horrifying.
and you can set the country and everything. You can't like see who's searching it, obviously, but you can just watch the feed of people. So, Ethan, that's something different. That's like real time. Like that's happening while you're watching it, which I think brings a whole new level of magic to the situation.
Yeah. It actually reminds me of when I first discovered internet pornography.
Mm.
I mean, the first time I ever found porn, ever, it was in like the basement of our house. There was a flood in the very rear room of our basement, which is where our laundry was done. And there was a closet there that was flooded as well. So my dad had to move out of storage years of archives of Playboy and Penthouse. I was shocked.
That's right.
Alex remembers because he's like, oh, I remember them. It was a wall of porn. I mean, a wall. I mean, I was a child, but these stacks were so large. I mean, there was like 8 issues at the bottom of each stack ruined and lost to water, but there were still countless others. And, you know, that was fine. I figured that out. But then the internet, you know, that was unlimited. But I guess I was confused when I was younger. I always used to Google really bizarrely specific things.
Yeah, me
Like
too.
I'd say things
Still.
like girl with 2 breasts naked, like or woman with top off. You know, like just I basically sounded like a serial killer with English as a second language or something. It was
Are you
embarrassing.
familiar with CFNM?
Yes, I'm familiar with everything, Alex.
Clothed female, nude male.
Yes, what is this, a quiz?
No, like
Quiz,
we
man.
didn't know. We brought it up on the show a couple episodes ago because we didn't know. I didn't know.
You didn't know?
I stumbled
Who knew?
upon it.
Who knew? Who knew?
None of us.
None of us?
He brought it to my attention.
Yeah.
And my first thought was, why would anyone want that?
You know, it's bizarre, too, because, like, there's some where the woman will, like, tear her clothes open in strategic locations to preserve the theme, which just surprises me, because I mean, do they have to design it? Like, do they ever have to, like, cut away and, like, have multiple takes because she couldn't tear the pussy area quickly enough?
You know what is the worst for me is when I'm into really good porn and music plays. Music will kill the porn.
You know what music kills porn 10 out of 10 times?
Trumpets.
Nickelback.
Are you kidding me?
Have
The
you ever
music?
have you heard Nick?
Yes! Like a bunch of times. And it's
No, you
always Nickelback.
No, you haven't.
And I'm like, are you fucking serious?
Are you saying that the Nickelback in the background of porn is what really kills it for you?
Yeah.
It's not the guy screaming. That is, I mean, that is
that'll kill it.
inexcusably in every porn. It's always the guy talking that ruins it,
Yeah.
and sometimes the woman talking. But that's, you know, depends on the situation.
And I hate the pizza spiel. Like, I hate the whole pizza.
BigSausagePizza.com.
Oh yeah.
I didn't order a pizza. And they open it, and it's just like, well, the dick is in the... And there's been times where
The
I'm
dick
like...
is in the middle.
Oh, there's been times I'm like, damn, that cheese pizza. Like, sometimes I'm like more interested in the pizza.
Really? 'Cause, like-
because I'm hungry.
If you look at Big Sausage Pizza,
Hungry for pizza.
hungry for pizza, to specify.
Hungry.
The pizza always looks like it's like 5 days old. It's disgusting.
It's the last one that was left from the office party.
Yeah. So
We gotta
It's just-
repurpose
you're
this
just looking at-
somehow.
You're just looking at the pizza to avoid looking at the giant cock in the middle.
yeah,
of it.
you know, sometimes it's the better
It's like
option.
staring at the pepperonis rather than the pepperoni.
The pepperoni, the big unraveled pepperoni.
And there was one porn that I watched when I was like younger that I used to watch straight porn, ironically enough.
Weird.
Right?
What'd you say?
Huh? Right.
What?
He watched straight porn when he was younger.
Straight porn. Oh, that's right. Damien's gay.
We all
Just
forget sometimes.
Audience,
They
Damien is gay.
In case you missed it.
they kept the pizza box, like they kept the whole pizza gimmick. I'm trying to. You see what I'm doing?
I'll
here?
help you out.
No, I got it. You don't need to get up. I can do this.
He's trying to demonstrate physically in an audio medium.
Well, we do have video.
Yeah.
So, Damien,
But
keep
he's
talking.
demonstrating
right?
under the table.
Is this right?
Demonstrate on top of the table
All right.
for this.
So anyway, God, see this fucking.
I'll help.
All right, thank you,
This is
Ethan.
bullshit. I can hold it like I'm Bob Barker.
All right, you're not Bob Barker or Chris
So,
Hardwick.
Anyway, please get your junk away from me while I have. my
You were
hand.
watching this straight porn, which was gross
And they
because it was
kept the
straight.
pizza.
And they kept the pizza.
and they kept the pizza spiel going. Like, he kept his dick through the box.
Is that getting too
Ethan-
close to your mouth, Damien?
Ethan kept his dick through the box. Yeah.
You know, his 5.5 footer.
All right. Gross, guys.
I don't know how
So
big it is. I've
that
never seen
actually, it brings up another point I wanted to ask you guys, because I've, after a while, I've talked to like other, guy friends of mine about porn, because after a while you do run out of things to talk about, and you're just like, yeah, what do you like? But
Yeah. That's where it goes. Yeah.
yeah, but I was talking to some guys, and I realized like that I'm actually in the minority in that like when I watch porn, I'm not really putting myself in the place of the male porn star. I'm just sort of looking at it
Yes.
aesthetically.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Like you're enjoying what's going on. Like, yeah, like I've
Yeah.
never put myself into porn. Like, I used to watch. I was a young weird child, and
No shit.
I've never told you this, so I will tell you this story. It's short, but we had a Windows 98 computer, and I was 8, and that's when I first found out I was gay. And I would go on this
Or
computer.
suspected.
Yeah, and I would, for some reason, it was African American porn.
you mean
My-
black porn?
Come on, guys, let's be PC. It's
Hey,
black porn.
They could have been
Black.
They could have been African or Canadian American, African Canadian, Canadian American.
Just black.
That's just
Canadian.
Those
absurd
aren't
right
black
there.
people.
Those aren't black people.
But I think the website I used to go to all the time was like bigchocolateDaddies.com or something.
Yeah, that was it.
And my uncle came downstairs one day because the computer was really slow. Like I said, I was 8. So my uncle was going through this history, and he's like looking, and he turns to me, he goes, "Tammy," and she's like, "What?" And you just see, I mean, big, like this monitor was at least, I don't know, like 12 by, this is probably an inaccurate measurement visually.
What size? Like, how much money did your family have to have a computer that size at
All right.
that time?
It was 2004, right?
No, this was like 2002. So the monitor was like, what it was saying, it was Windows 98. It was a big, like, white Windows DOS.
It was funny because it was just 2 years different.
I was way off.
If you were 8, it would be like 2001.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know math.
I was totally guessing. I just picked a year out of my ass.
Anyway, so yeah, I got all embarrassed. I was like, it's a virus, and I still can't believe I was 8 years old and I knew how to navigate to porn and watched porn when I was 8.
Fuck knows, when I was 8 years old, I still had to call Derek into the room to help me navigate GameFAQs.
To help you navigate porn.
In fact,
Derek,
I always
I-
call
I-
it game fags.
It's FAQS.
'Cause
So
I
yes.
didn't know how to pronounce the Q when I was
Der-
little.
Derek, I need to find woman with 2 breasts and vagina.
And vagina.
Girls touching each other sexually in quotes.
No, I don't put myself in the eye of the beholder
Well, but for
unless
me,
it's POV.
for me, and this is sort of my question is, I love big cocks. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm in a porn and I'm like, and I see like this guy and he just whips out this like 5-inch penis, I'm like, come on, man. This is the big leagues. Like, get out of here. My penis is bigger than that. I mean, I loaded this website to see some 9-inch Goliath who can't even fully penetrate any woman he's ever met. I mean, that's what I want. That's what I paid nothing to see.
Ethan fucking brought this up to me not too long. It's like, I like to look at porn where the guy's dick is similar to mine. Like, it's just like it's.
What do you mean similar to mine?
I similar in size.
Okay,
So-
so you
So
sort of-
small.
But it
So you're
can't be
just, like,
too big. It can't be black.
You know what I
Usually,
realized? If you go to those websites with the categories and you just navigate to numbers, there's like 6+, 7+, 8+. There's all these different number sizes you can get for cocks.
I never knew.
I didn't know that.
Don't click BBW. I clicked BBW. Big busty women. They're like
No,
600 pounds.
That's not. That's big beautiful women.
Big beautiful.
Oh,
Big busty women.
yeah.
Big beautiful women.
I got busty. I
But they're
thought that
rarely
stood for
beautiful. That's the
obese.
thing.
Well,
And
it's,
then
That's the
there's
thing.
midget
I
porn.
can't.
it's their bigness that makes them
One at a
beautiful.
time.
Yeah.
I used to watch horse porn.
Well, to get off this topic, I don't
Yeah.
mean to derail.
Whoa.
We've talked about porn so much.
People probably think we're
I'm
creeps.
sorry,
A lot of
Derek.
young men.
Derek's like, well, that rules out half of my time.
No, actually, that most
rules out
my
all of
topics
them.
are pretty.
Well, I did get a couple of requests from some people on Twitter asking if there are any good stories from my youth that I wouldn't remember that you would, Derek.
Oh yeah.
Because, like, obviously you're 6 years older than me, for people who don't know. So you remember what I was like when I was a kid better than I do.
There's one actually, which was a traumatic event for me, and maybe traumatic for you, in the sense that you don't remember it. I'm trying to remember now. But there was a day where I was, I think, 11 years old, and you were probably 6, maybe 5.
Mm-hmm.
But Dad had gone to the Highs, which was nearby our house, which was like a deli, to get Pepsi. And Mom was at work. So I, the 11-year-old, the oldest, and Brady, the 9-year-old, I was put in charge of you, the little one. And we gave you ice cream, I believe. That was our solution.
I don't remember any of this. So.
What happened was we just let you to your own devices. And eventually, my dad got back, and he was like, hey, where's Alex? And you were not there. You weren't in the house. You weren't anywhere. You were not on our property. The garage door was open, and there was a clear path from where you were. I mean, the ice cream bowl was there that we knew that we gave you. I mean, it was like this trail was left that you wandered off, and we couldn't figure it out. I was like, Dad, he likes horses. Maybe he went down outside in the back to see the horses. So
I was a kid who liked horses!
So we ran out back, and we were trying to find Alex
Says
near
so much
the
about
horses. I mean, we were looking around in the berry bushes where they were. We went by the fence, and nowhere to be found. And so then we saw the police siren, and the police car drove past our house and went in the opposite direction, sort of the same direction actually that Dad would have had to drive if he was going to Highs. So of course we ran that way, and I was just panicked, this 11-year-old, I don't even know. And Dad runs up, and it turns out you in the very first house to the left of ours along Simpson Road where we lived. We lived kind of far apart from other houses, so it was a good like quarter mile, honestly, to get to that house. And he was there in the bushes, just sitting in the bushes in front of their front porch, and the police were there, and the parents in that home were outside on the porch, very concerned, wondering what was going on. My dad runs up and he's like, "Oh, he's mine. He got away." I don't know.
That little rascal.
They always, you forget to put them in their cages once, and they think they can run all around. And so he still lived with us, so obviously that worked out.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that, for about 2 or 3 years, I never let you out of my sight. I consider that my responsibility.
Yeah. Well, you're probably the reason that I didn't go off and just get hit by a car then.
No, I don't know, because you were running out into the street. I mean, you were mobile. You were like Tommy. I mean, from Rugrats on an adventure.
Maybe that's where I got my inspiration from. I did love Rugrats. Any other good ones?
Any other good ones?
Yeah, no, I'm curious, honestly.
I'm trying to remember. I mean,
I'm enthralled over here.
Yeah.
I don't know about how many that I would remember that you don't, because I'm 5 years older or 6 years older than you are.
6 years.
So, I mean, it's a narrow window. But those are specific ones. Oh, I do remember a time where you got lost in Disney World.
Yeah, I don't remember this, but Mom always brings it up.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, we went to the Sci-Fi Drive-In Theater, which was located in MGM, I think.
Yeah.
So we were there, and you just sort of wandered off and sat. I think you just sort of sat in a model Cadillac, and then we wandered off. And then you were the confused one, if I remember correctly. But in any case, that was it was your birthday weekend that we were down there for. And we had rented this condo or timeshare, whatever the hell they called it. And that very same day that Mom lost you in the theme park, we found you at guest services with ice cream and the whole 9 yards, how 99% of all these Disney stories end. And but later that night, we were locked out of the condo or the timeshare. And it's a timeshare. There's no hotel. You can't get a key. Apparently, they had changed the locks that day, and we had to call the cleaning lady. And Mom was sitting outside crying, and it was your birthday.
Yeah.
And we eventually got back in there.
Yeah. Apparently, somebody brought me back, and they'd gotten me ice cream. So a Disney employee.
Yeah.
After they raped you.
Yeah. But I think that the theme here in all these stories is how tragedy has shaped Alex's life.
I was going to say, that also explains so much.
I mean, so much of Alex's life has been spent getting lost
Reminds me
and
of your
being
birthday.
found against his will. Honest to God.
I was just trying to get away from you.
Yeah, like he has the ice cream. He's like, I wandered away from you and was given ice cream. I should be on you more often.
Yeah. All right. There's some good stories. So, why don't we get into topics? Does anybody want to start? Damien?
I'll start.
Yeah.
So my topic, it's not the topic, but the YouTube video that I saw recently at work sparked it. It's about marijuana,
Okay.
but the YouTube video I saw was this news anchor in Alaska,
Oh yeah.
and she's stating they're doing like something on like marijuana and cannabis. I know it's the same thing, but they use the term cannabis. I think marijuana is more like an inappropriate. It's like a slang name.
Marijuana is the technical name.
No,
Well, I thought it was
cannabis is-
cannabis.
Cannabis is? Okay.
Well, cannabis is used more towards medical, right? Like what leaning
Cannabis is the scientific name of the plant.
Okay.
Okay.
Like
So-
feline is a cat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's like talking, and she says something, and then she accidentally admits that she is the leader of the recreational like cannabis club in Alaska,
Oh, then she dropped the mic.
and she goes, and I quote, "On that note, fuck it, I quit." And then
Walks off the screen.
my topic. And then so she walks
Wow.
up, and then the news anchor is like, and then like looks down at her paper, and then looks back up, and then looks back down, and then like that's it.
She's
so,
like, I'm sorry about that.
yeah.
That's the end of the video.
So I heard about this. So did she quit because she accidentally let slip that she was the cannabis chief?
That's what I'm thinking. But here's my thing: is how long do you guys think it's going to take when these new laws in different states start passing for marijuana to be legal? How much longer do you think it's going to take for marijuana to reach the general social level of alcohol to where it's not looked down upon? I mean, granted, marijuana is used and
Decades.
looked positively on by a lot of people, but she quit her job because she thought she just ruined her job by admitting that she was like the head of a cannabis club, but
Well, luckily we have
marijuana's in the process of being legal.
an informed scholar on the situation here.
Oh yeah.
Why do you think I picked this topic?
Yeah.
Well, as somebody who's traveled to Denver recently, I mean, I can tell you now. I mean, it's going to be a regional thing for a long time. I mean, for example, Alabama last year had a segregated prom, and that's
Yeah.
probably against the law, but still, culturally, they're a little behind the times down there. So there are certain parts of the country, I'm sure, where it will never really be socially
Oh.
acceptable.
Absolutely, just like homosexual and interracial marriage. I mean, there's always
Yeah.
going to be portions of places that just don't ever get it.
Fortunately, with the referendums that are in place nowadays, like any state that enacts the law that passes it, it's due to the general populace wanting to have it. So it's going to be popular.
What do you know about it in Maryland, October 1st? Like, do you know exactly what's happening?
Well, they decriminalized it here.
But it takes effect October 1st. But does that, you can't get arrested for it now, right? If you have under X amount.
Under X amount, yeah. Over a certain amount.
It's
is-
under what 10 grams, I think.
Oh, it's not 10. Actually, I think it is
That's
10 grams.
Yeah.
That's what I read.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah,
Wait.
no, I was just thinking.
Wait, yes,
I was
it
just
is.
thinking how many grams is in an ounce, and yeah, that's less than that's
No.
more than a quarter.
If you get a citation, which I'm assuming that's what the penalty for this would be, if you have under 10 grams, does that still get put on your record?
No, citations aren't put on your record. The interesting thing they do though is they have this thing where they elevate the fine.
Yeah, I saw
Like
that
in-
for like
in-
recurrent offenses.
In California, it's great. It's like a $50 fine forever. They don't record your name or anything. So in Maryland, fine first time is one, second time is another, and then third is like $900 infinite. Like over, if you're the third time offender, every single time they cite you, it'll be for that amount. Like so, and that makes sense, I guess. Except probably by the time anybody is caught for the third time, it'll have been decriminalized further. So I really don't think it's a big deal. Just don't go around carrying it without proper materials to conceal its smell. I suggest a mason jar.
Mason jar. So like,
I'm gonna get another beer, everybody.
that's fine. You can just grab it right out of the fridge if you want, or I can grab it for you if you want.
No, I'm gonna get my own beer.
Single tear just falls down my face. I was just gonna say like, there is that fascination on this panel of people, and when it will be decriminalized. So, like, Damien, your question is like, when do you think it'll be like a social norm? Well, like, I think to an extent, because of the stigma, there is always going to be people who don't accept it. Just like it,
Yeah, but that's any social issue.
yeah, but like just like there are people that will never accept that people drink alcohol.
Yeah.
There are religious groups and stuff like,
Are you talking about Muslims?
not necessarily Muslims.
I think you are.
They're just social situations where it shouldn't be brought up. Like, I wouldn't talk about drinking at my grandparents' house at Easter dinner. I wouldn't talk about it, depending on the situation
What if
at
you-
work, much like once it's decriminalized or once it's made recreationally legal, however far down the line, I'm not going to be at work being like, yeah, so I was getting high this weekend, and it's like, I'm not going to talk about
Smoking
that
a
at work.
doobie.
You know what? I cannot wait for the time where you can say that on the weekend after work. Like, you know, when I go in to work, I mean, the job that I have, there are stories from people getting fired for spectacular offenses. But I work like remotely, so every time we get together to work together, like on the same site in the same part of the country, it's like a party. These people haven't seen each other, and usually they're all in their 20s, and they want to go out and get drinks. We have a $75 a day per diem. It's pretty sweet. So, I mean, people get drunk and talk about it routinely. If we could get stoned and talk about it, that'd be great.
I wouldn't remember half of the things, but
Well, you don't remember half of anything anyway. Like, even if you're sober, like, you're not gonna remember this episode as soon as it's over.
no. Think
Um,
about a cheeseburger at the moment.
but like, I think because like there's an act of smoking it, it's weird because you think there.
Active smoking it.
Well, I was gonna say, like, there's probably a moment where like cigarettes got big and marijuana didn't.
All right, are you thinking of marijuana as like cigarettes that get you high?
No.
Because
Those marijuana cigarettes?
I mean, the thing is with marijuana is you can drink it, eat it, smoke
Yeah.
it. I mean, vapo it.
Vapo it. It's more open ended, I guess.
You know what I really love about it? You can get shit faced on it. 0 calories.
0 calories
Fucking fabulous.
and no hangover.
except for everything you eat afterwards.
Whoa.
That is the risk that you run. That is why you have to always smoke enough that you pass out. No, I'm just kidding. That's a terrible habit to get into.
No, like it's interesting. Like, you don't get hungover, but you can get like burnt out, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can also get addicted. Like, let's say you smoke every day for a month, then try and sleep for that next week if you're not smoking at all. I mean, there's marijuana. I guess you could say withdrawal effects if it's in your system. And so, as with any drug, I mean, there are advantages and disadvantages. You can't get lung cancer from smoking pot, which is bizarre. Most people don't realize that. It actually helps your chances of fighting cancer. But, you know, how do you inject the marijuana is the real question.
Yeah.
Because that's what all those anti-marijuana campaigns seem to be suggesting, that it's such a much more serious drug capable of spreading all kinds of diseases. And
How?
well, that's the thing, is people have said inject a marijuana, but those people who have said that actually are not informed clearly.
Yeah. In addition to that, part of the stigma, I think, I was watching a debate earlier this week on a completely different topic, but they brought up the war on drugs in a sense, where there was this one guy who was some sort of political figure, and he was kind of big. I was telling them about it earlier. And I think he worked with the prison system, and he made public in a speech that he was all for the legalization of marijuana, and he got a call from his personal friend who was the police chief in that area, and he's like, "What are you doing, man? You're going to put me out of business. You can't say that shit."
Oh, yeah.
Like, so that's part of it as well, is that it brings in so much government money as it is that I think, but it will bring in government money when it's legalized because they can
Government.
tax it.
Well, here's the thing. Government money is what you say when you're talking about it. And I think the funny thing about the prison system is that it's privatized. It's not.
Yeah, no, there are a lot of private prisons.
So, no, it's pretty much like the vast majority,
Yeah.
and they're all for profit. And so when people are talking about taxing marijuana, you're taking money out of the prison system, out of those businessmen's pockets, and giving it to the government.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's obviously the government's going to fight that, but they've been fighting that for a long time.
What you said about prisons, it's not privatized if it's a state penitentiary, correct? Obviously, right?
No, a state penitentiary
Is a state prison.
the federal prison system in America is one of the most corrupt, horrible, awful.
Really?
Awful. I mean, what they will do is try to keep people in prison. I mean, it's the whole three strikes thing. Like essentially, where you get 3 strikes, everything is an automatic minimum. Like,
what do you mean? Like, explain.
like let's say you get brought up on assault charges 3 times.
Okay.
Next thing you know, you're going to jail for the minimum for the assault charge on your strike 3, and then every single time you get brought in, every single sentence is a jail term. There's no suspension, there's no parole, there's nothing, and it's a for-profit enterprise. I mean, there are police departments that have agreements with prisoners to funnel them in certain places, and they get kickbacks. It's a tragic enterprise, and
the prisons don't make money if they don't have people in the prisons.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
And look at the American population relative to the number of people that it has in prison. It's the highest of any country in the world.
It's a lot.
So I'm curious, because I've heard specific people that I follow and I know that complain like the taxpayers' money, these prisoners' meals and stuff, and like these criminals who have done these terrible things, it pays for their meals when like a better solution would just be to put them in the ground.
Okay, that's, for one thing, it's completely ignorant to suggest that simply murdering a prisoner is the right solution for this reason alone. The legal system in this country allows for appeal. And what that means is when you have a death sentence, the law in this country means you can appeal indefinitely. So when a person is sentenced to death, their lawyer will appeal and cost the state millions of dollars in court fees. And if you look back on, say, Texas, the average cost to kill all of the death row inmates by the time they're dead, if you add in the cost of their appeals, about $600 million a head.
Head?
Yeah.
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
billions of dollars.
To kill somebody.
Yeah, because of the it's like it'll
All
usually
the legal-
take 25 years of appeals before a guy is killed, and what all that is just courts, lawyers assembling for no other reason than to convene about whether or not they should die, and they just say the same thing. Yes, then the lawyer files the appeal again. It's a process to delay the execution.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, the prisoner's going to do it. His lawyer's going to do it. But in California, they actually have a death row, but haven't executed a single prisoner in over 20 years. So all those prisoners just cycling through all those appeals, honestly, and I think it's robbing this country of a ton of money. I didn't really expect that we'd talk about politics, but when it comes to like prisons, I feel a lot of passion about how awful they are.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, it's something I'm very ignorant about. I've never even considered learning how they work. I think a lot of us are in the same boat.
I
got into it with that one debate that I watched. Just to cite it, it was the Huffington Post debate where they pulled lyrics from Kanye West's song "New Slaves," and in the third verse he talks about the American prison system, very specifically about how they treat black people, which I don't think is the main thing, but it is a big part of it.
These is a jumping off point to a larger problem.
But they had a full 30-minute debate on it, and they kept bringing up the Kanye lyrics, and I thought that was really interesting. But it was a lot about the prison system and the politics surrounding that conflict.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I was reading a statistic that young black men between the ages of 18 and 28, there are roughly the number of those men in prison now as are in college.
I think I've heard that.
Yeah, it's virtually the same.
Damien, you're going to say something.
Oh, well, I was just going to say that I have a personal experience with prisons. I've obviously never been in one. I've never been arrested.
But
You've been to prisons.
But I've seen your tattoos, though. You've been to prison, right?
Oh, thank you, the general public.
General populace of
Right.
He doesn't have
America.
that spider web on his elbow.
Oh my god.
Oh,
We had a fucking discussion about
you
this. huh?
did. If you got
I'm
a
not getting a
spider
spider
No,
web,
web.
no,
my
no,
elbow?
he saw somebody at Whole Foods.
Yeah,
with
I saw like a mid-40s dude cover. He had a bunch of tattoos, and I saw him from behind, and on his elbows, he had comic expressions
Like that said, like, pow and
no,
stuff.
they didn't say it on the elbows,
But it was that
like
style,
the
right?
like the bang comic explosions with like the dots behind it, full color, and it was shaped like a spider web, and that just all around his elbow, and they looked so cool. And then he had a bunch of stuff going on his arms, and I just saw a smaller comic explosion that said BAMF.
Anyway,
He's a
continue,
really cool
Damien.
guy.
That's awesome.
But I'm not naming names of my family or the person I went to go see, but we were seeing this person. It was a detention center, which is like pre-jail. I mean, it's still run by the county and stuff. And the detention center, it's jail, but it's not prison. That's like, I don't know how to word it. It's like going to jail, but not like not what a jail could be.
It's like a
It's a
halfway house?
detention center.
Detention center is like the best word for it. It's like 30-day, 60-day jail,
yeah, something
stuff,
like that.
like misdemeanor
And
stuff.
He actually, I visited him a few times, and he was fine. And I came back to visit him, my mother and I, like 2 months later, and he had cuts on his face, and they were untreated. And that's just basically, if something happens, if they get to you, like medically, they get to you when they get to you. I mean, and stuff is not, for people to sit there and say that everybody in prison deserves it, or like kind of how you were saying, like the way prisons are ran, even detention centers, like people could have been framed, people could, some people are wrong place, wrong time, and people get pretty messed up.
And people
like,
can
in
be
prison.
serving larger sentences for smaller offenses
Well,
because
yeah. But the big problem is
that
people
happens.
in those maximum security prisons for nonviolent offenses. I mean, that's the big problem.
Why would they be put? There was actually a guy in Ohio that a scooter in Ohio that shot like 4 people in his high school like 2 years ago, and he escaped. It was a maximum security prison, and they found him. But I was like, if all these prisons, have all this, secure. I mean, the money's got to come from somewhere to fund it. Then they shouldn't be escaping.
I wonder how he did. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he escaped like 2 or 3 other inmates
probably-
with other inmates.
We've gotten a little off topic.
I was going to say we're talking quite a lot about
Prison.
prisons now.
Anybody play Prison Architect?
I know, but I kind of want to.
Now you do.
Yeah, well, it was like in the Humble bundle recently too.
Was it?
Yeah, it was like $10 and you get Prison Architect.
Isn't that like a $50 game?
Wait a minute.
It's like $35
Wait a
or
minute.
something. What?
I think I bought Prison Tycoon and played that Prison Tycoon.
Prison Architect is a similar idea. Except you like get to build the
I
prison.
love those the Tycoon games.
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
I
was
never
the
played that. I
bomb.
never played that.
Have you played Sims 4, Derek? Whoever you
No.
are.
No, I haven't.
All right, I'm really tempted. I'm getting closer. Brady gave me his login so I could download his version of it. So.
I did just get Destiny though. So
Okay. I guess we'll save it for another time. Don't
So-
want to bore these
So
two.
whose topic is next?
Well, Damien, did you have anything else to add about your when do you think marijuana will be a social norm?
The only thing I was going to say about marijuana is I think definitely a lot of people our age, like anywhere between 20 and Derek 26, 20, up in that.
27.
Hell, I mean, I think marijuana is almost done by maybe a good 65%. Like I'm comfortable saying I think 65% of most Americans have tried it. I'm not going to say smoke it recreationally.
I would say that's a pretty big assumption.
I heard there was a comedian who did something. He was bringing up that topic, and he asked in the audience. He was like, do you smoke marijuana?" He was like, "No." He's like, "Well, have you tried it?" And he was like, once. And he's like, "Exactly. Everyone should try it, and it's not for everyone. Some people just it's not for them, and that's how it should be. If you don't want to do it, then you're not going to do it."
I've never understood how it was
But-
called a gateway.
Gateway
but just
drug?
a lot of people who don't smoke marijuana have tried it and realize that it's not for them,
Yeah.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
That was just sort of how-
I've never understood how it's called a gateway drug. I mean, I get that obviously it would lead you to do other things, but I don't get how it specifically makes you want to do. I think it's just that person's personal choice. It's like, oh, marijuana's not this bad, so let me try heroin. Let me try I've smoked, obviously, but I don't do any other kind of drug.
Well-
I mean, besides alcohol.
I mean, the conspiracy theorist in me just wants to go ahead and say, like, the idea of calling it a gateway drug came from Nancy Reagan and the war on drugs. That was an invented term. That it's very popular, and there was tons of it, especially in the 70s and the 80s. But calling it a gateway drug was never demonstrably true in any study under any circumstances.
I feel like if you think about it, really, it's like maybe if you're hanging out in circles where people are smoking weed, like
You know what?
they're doing other drugs, but still.
You know what's a gateway? Codeine and Vicodin.
Yeah.
and prescription pills that we have on the market nowadays. I mean, this country right now is in an epidemic of drug addiction, and marijuana is nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that seems way more of a gateway
Yeah.
than marijuana.
Yeah.
Right now in this country, there are millions of people addicted to painkillers legally, and
That, I mean, like, you make fun of it, but House MD, the show, is partially completely about being addicted to Vicodin.
yeah. Well,
And
there's a new show actually called Nick, starring Clive Owen, and I really love it. It just started on Cinemax or Showtime, one of those two.
Okay.
But it's actually about a hospital, and the head surgeon at this hospital, played by Clive Owen, in 1900 in New York City, he's addicted to liquid cocaine, which at that time was right alongside on the store shelves in any pharmacy. I mean, it was lauded by Freud as a miracle drug. And he's just addicted to it in this show, and it's just about how he gets through his everyday life.
I do like Clive Owen. I might have to check that
You
out.
definitely should.
I'm not even going to lie. Is it weird though that I've had a weird curiosity? Not saying I would ever do it, but just to
About
see
cocaine?
what like.
If you had some cocaine right here, right now, I would do it. I would like to try it.
I would try cocaine.
I don't need to think about it.
Wait,
What
it's
blood oath? Yeah.
blood oath.
You know the blood
Wiggity,
oath
wiggity,
is you
wiggity.
have to like cut yourselves and like
Whatever.
Please.
I don't care.
We
No.
can do that.
You know a good place not to do cocaine? Alone in your room.
Yeah, I would freak the fuck out.
I mean, it just makes you hyper, right? No.
No,
It's not like eating a candy bar, Damien.
No, I mean I know that. Like, I've seen somebody on cocaine once, and they were just very like sporadic and like just
To get an idea of it, it jump-started one of the largest corporations in America,
It's a stimulant.
Coca-Cola.
Think about it this way. I've never done it. Yeah, actually, there's a plant in this country which is still refines the coca plant. It's the one place that the DEA allows coca plants to be imported
Because
into this country.
they do. It still uses the plant, but they remove
Yeah,
the
they remove
cocaine.
the cocaine part.
Yeah.
They use it for flavoring. Bullshit. Whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
Shit. What we were talking?
cocaine.
Cocaine.
Cocaine. Yes, cocaine. But no, I mean, I've never done it, so I can't speak from experience. But from what I've heard, and from what I've seen, it's just the effect it has on you isn't just about making you hyper. It makes you feel like bulletproof. It makes you your self-confidence, your energy. It just soars through the roof.
I'm starting to backtrack on my idea of doing cocaine after hearing that.
What do you mean?
No, like I fear myself under
He's
that.
very much not bulletproof.
Yeah.
If you haven't
Oh,
noticed.
well, I mean, I'm not talking about LSD. You're not going to try and ride a train. It's I
It's
don't
your
mean that.
mentality.
I would ghost ride the train. Thank you very much.
I mean, if you're going to do cocaine, you do it with a group of guys, with no women,
Why?
group of guys, just so you don't attack the women.
Okay.
I would have never thought of that.
That was
Now-
not the
no,
answer
I
I
mean,
was expecting.
I would have never thought of that, but
being,
now
though,
I will
he's-
never try cocaine around women because
Well,
I'd attack a woman on cocaine.
Not your first time. You don't know. You might just be like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Like
There's
the
a
first-
penis and a vagina right here.
That's
I-
the first time I ever got drunk. I wasn't sure what kind of drunk I would be.
Yeah,
so.
no, yeah. You want to be like, I need to know my limit.
What's my constant?
Yeah, that's true. And it's just,
You know
if
the
you were
one- oh, sorry.
if you were going to do cocaine, just like go out on a night on the town. In fact, make it seem more real. Do it in the bathroom at whatever bar you're going to. I don't
Make
know.
it seem more
The
real.
one other drug experience that I have, Derek, I don't know if you can.
With salvia?
Well, but that's not.
Salvia
really
is
interesting.
legal and it should be illegal.
Oh.
It's horrible.
Spice
did-
should be illegal.
I did Molly or EDMA.
Oh, cool.
It made me.
Did you
like,
snort it?
No, I took a pill.
Oh, was it
Um,
really Molly?
This is my thing: is you don't know what's really in the pill because you get it from somebody at like a random rave concert.
Yeah.
It made me
Did you say rape concert?
rave.
He said rave concert, but he should have said rave. So
If you spell it out, it sounds like the
I
same
was
thing.
the happiest I think I've ever been in my whole entire life, but I couldn't tell you why. Like I was hugging random people. Like I was literally the happiest I've ever been. And then when the music stopped, like I thought all these people that went to raves were like exaggerating. And I told him the night after because I was so like in awe that this happened to me. When the music stopped playing, I got instantly like the saddest I've ever been in my whole entire life.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and I was like sitting there, I was like, I want to die, all this weird stuff. Then the music would come back, and then I'll be really happy again. Well, That following night, I didn't sleep. Forgot to tell you this, Alex. I was up for 24 hours because I was still on
Yeah,
it.
you did tell me this.
I went to breakfast the next morning. I was sitting at breakfast like this because it was so. I found out that following day, that the pill was half Molly, half cocaine. So I was like,
That's what
Well,
Molly.
oh,
That's what Molly is.
Molly
no,
is
no, Molly.
cocaine and
Molly
ecstasy.
is supposed to be pure MDMA, which is not ecstasy or cocaine. It's like the extracted
Isn't-
purest form of
I-
ecstasy.
As far as I'm aware, MDMA is different. From
Now,
that.
all right. no, I'm just saying.
Okay, let's hear it.
Wouldn't pure MDMA just be
Killing-
MDMA?
Yeah, I would.
That's what
I don't know.
That's why I said you don't know what's in these pills. People that claim, oh, it's pure. You
Yeah.
weren't in the lab. You didn't make it.
I think
brought
what
the
he's
molecules.
saying is, wouldn't you call MDMA, not Molly?
Molly, I think, would be the street name for it. Just like weed is marijuana is cannabis.
As far as I've heard, it's cocaine and ecstasy.
Well, anyway,
But
It's a nice blend.
This episode of Roommates went in a
table
completely
wine.
different direction than I was
the
expecting.
most interesting part that I want to tell you is my grandmother was at the hospital. Was in the hospital at this time, and
At what time?
But this
like-
time,
Oh, you were doing Molly. That's right.
yeah.
No, I just wanted to set the stage again.
set the austere
So
atmosphere.
I go home and she's still in the hospital. This is like 3 days after I've taken the pill. I have, for the first night, the first most vivid nightmare that I will never forget. I was brutally murdering her with a cinder block. I remember
Oh,
it.
wow.
The second night, I had a dream that my dad, who was not in
Wait,
my life,
you just skipped over. What? You were brutally.
no, like that was it, and then I just woke up.
that was one dream.
Yeah,
Didn't know if you could be more.
and then the
specific.
next dream, no, like that was all I remember. Honestly, the next dream, my dad that I like haven't talked to in 13 years. He was coming through the house, and I was watching it happen through with a shotgun, and I was like killing most of my family. Well, I remember
I remember this.
I remember opening my eyes, and I think I was like half asleep. Either I was like hallucinating from the drug, and I like looked at the door, and I heard him like bang, but I was hallucinating, hearing him banging on the door. And I looked up the effects of the drug, and it says that it can cause like severe hallucinations, nightmares, and depression because you don't know what like either if it is ecstasy and cocaine, you don't know the ratio. Like, was it more ecstasy than it was cocaine? You know, was it more cocaine? Like, you don't know what's in the pill, and that's
Yeah.
what makes it so.
Didn't you just say that it was MDMA? Are you going back to what I said?
No, I'm saying that that's what they claim.
I think
it
he's
is.
using the terms interchangeably.
Okay.
What?
Ecstasy for MDMA.
Yeah.
I got told that they're the same thing. Are they not?
No.
Well, regardless, the point still stands that you were taking an amphetamine, made you very happy, and then made you very sad.
Yeah.
But I feel like, and I don't know, but maybe it's just it was very high dose.
I don't know.
And I know that from what I've heard of taking amphetamines like that you come down hard
Very.
because, like, you know, that.
Because you go up hard.
Yeah, I mean, you go way beyond like your normal capacity for like feeling those positive emotions, and then for that reason, you're absent them
Yes.
for a certain period after.
And I'm going to tell you, I don't think I would ever do that again. I don't wish that on. I don't want any of my friends
Well-
to try it. It's terrible.
See, that's how people like when people who do that, like then they use other drugs to get through the downs, the lows of the others.
From the
So then you're like, oh, when I'm coming down off of this MDMA, I'll take a Vicodin. You know, and then my body feels numb. Then I don't care about the down, and that's how you're on the pathway to self-destruction. That's a gateway drug right there.
Yeah.
right.
Yep. I could lighten the mood with my topic.
Well, I was gonna say, real quick, we're gonna take a little siesta from the video. I'm sorry
Okay.
to people watching the video. Just give us one moment.
What is it? 2 people watching the video are like upsetting the bandwidth?
No.
saw your bathroom.
My bathroom or Ethan's bathroom?
Your bathroom.
The hall door was locked. I just opened the door.
I was
Yeah.
peeing some of the grime off of the toilet.
Yeah, no. We need. That's what I forgot to get at Walmart. Toilet cleaner.
You've forgotten to get that for a while.
Yeah, I know. I'm a mess.
You're
Your
fine.
toilet gets real shitty real quick.
It's weird. I don't know why.
Especially when he feels sick.
You know, mine's fine. I clean it every once in a while. I'll even scrub it without toilet cleaner. I'm like,
Okay, so this is gonna get cut.
dry clean it.
This is gonna get cut from the audio show. To the people watching the video, thank you for watching the video. You get 2 shows in one.
Who's watching the video? Are
My
people
friend.
watching the
My
video?
friend. Well, no one's. One person was watching live,
Well-
but this gets like posted.
Well, you could also send it to Leah. She might like it.
I should send it to Leah.
Well, the link, you could send it. You're on your Mac, right?
Oh, should I send it to her right now?
You can send it to her. She might like it. Check in for a minute.
Yeah, okay. I can do that. To the people watching the video, you're going to get a 2-for. We're going to split this into 2 shows because we are going a bit long, but that's fine. I
We
don't
still
want
have 3 topics.
It's a night doubleheader, everyone.
to. Yeah, so the audio version of this is going to come out in probably about 2 weeks, I would say, and then you're going to get
2 weeks?
Yeah.
How are all these contemporary topics that we're going to talk about going to be relevant anymore?
I know.
I was going to talk about all the shit that was happening like yesterday and like breakfast I had today. What good is that going to be in 2 weeks?
Your suburban topic.
I won't even know. Yeah, my
You
suburban
you
topics.
prepared that one?
Yeah,
Um,
prepared my suburban topics.
so thank you for watching the video, and you get a bonus because you're awesome. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. All right.
Does anybody
guys-
else want?
Yes, I'm going to have 1.
I'm not going to have any. Those were
And
mostly
Derek's not
for
going to have
you.
any, so you can have
Which
1.
one looks like it'd be more better for me to have?
One on the left.
I was gonna pick that one. You know me so well.
All right, well, that was a great topic, but we are actually we're gonna cut the show, and the second half of this show is gonna come out in a little bit. So thank you guys so much for listening. Sorry that you are gonna have to wait so long for more of a interesting Derek O'Neill story.
Keep them in bated breath.
Yeah.
So much of me, we had to split it in 2.
Once again, I've been Alex O'Neill. Damien Brown, thank you.
Alex.
What? We're gonna stop the show and then we're gonna start it again.
Yeah, but are we gonna reintroduce ourselves after?
Yes.
You just
Yeah,
Oh.
we're gonna have like the whole intro. It'll
Yeah.
be a whole full 2 not like a 2-part single episode, but 2 whole separate.
You're giving away the magic here, Ethan.
The
So
pre-show
it's like-
can just be me talking about your shitty toilet.
Yeah.
Stop having a production meeting in front of the microphone, Alex.
Whatever.
Derek, thank you. Thank you for coming on. Obviously, we'll have more of you next time in the next episode. You can follow Derek on Twitter at YourDerek, all one word.
At your Derek, and that is your as in the possessive.
And you can follow me at AlFighter27 on Twitter and Instagram. Damien and Ethan are only on Instagram. So you can follow Damien at BeatYaFeet_ and Ethan at Surrender the Summer.
Yep.
Ethan.
That was the name of his band. That is now just him with the ukulele.
Well, it was always just him with you.
It was always just me, and it's still just me. And
never shout, never.
And I'm still working on an acoustic album, which is just covers of rap songs, and hopefully I'll get that out. My goal is by Halloween. It's not going to happen, but end of the year is realistically.
I can help you. I can do some
Yeah.
production on that.
Can have
With my computer crashing all the time, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I want to get like a 10-ish song rap cover album out by the end of
I
the
want
year.
you to cover like a really dirty, grimy hood song.
You know, you should have a release party. We could talk to some people, and you can play some house shows in Baltimore.
I could.
I mean, you can be part of a 1-part. I mean, there are shows that start at 6 people go on. You know,
Lady
House
Gaga
shows.
started out in bars. You could be the next Lady Gaga, except
Oh, I could definitely be the next Lady Gaga.
Oh, I could see it. I could see those legs and some fishnets.
you definitely have a bigger penis than Lady Gaga.
I don't know about all that.
Thank
Remember
you.
when she convinced the world she had a dick when she like stopped her?
You convinced the world that she had a dick. It was just you.
She
Thank
didn't-
you.
She did not convince me.
Thank you, everyone who listens. We will catch you next time with the second half of this show
In 5 minutes.
in 5 minutes. So,
End of part 1.
thank you guys.
You guys
Hunger Games style.
You guys hot barbecue.
Bye.
Please flip the tape to side B.
All right, I'm gonna save this. Audacity
So
image.
when you said the possessive, I thought about it spelled out, and I was like, "But you are Derek. You're Derek."
That's why I did it. That's why I came up with that name.
Are we recording?
And
the
it's so good, and I understand now. I
it's gonna be
understand
the same
fully.
video.
But like when you
Is
first
that
said it, it's
gonna
like
be
you were
harder
Derek,
for you to
whatever.
apply the audio,
And
or
then
is it easier?
you were like the possessive. I
The
was
audio
like,
is in the video, so
but you're Derek.
I don't have to edit the video at all.
See, but
Why is it the possessive?
the best part is that my about
But
me
you don't save the video,
on Twitter
right?
is just as of the
It saves
possessive.
to YouTube automatically. I don't have to do anything. We use Google
was really
Hangouts
good.
on air.
At one point, I had like 500 Twitter followers. It just they all melted away.
We broadcast on YouTube
Well, they melted
live.
down to like 400.
Well,
I-
I
I'm more-
appreciate your Twitter handle and website.
I appreciate it. No problem. So I guess you like the mead.
It's so
It's
good.
wonderful. It's so sweet.
One thing I recommend you guys try out next time if you want it. This is 8%, but the normal configuration was 15%.
Fuck yeah. Ethan and I are gonna get fucked up on weed many a night. I think.
Weed.
Weed. Well, that's accurate too now, isn't it?
Mead and Weed Wednesdays. That's what you can call it. Or Weed and Mead Mondays.
Derek, I love you.
Hello and welcome to Roommates. I'm Alex O'Neill. With me, I have Damien Brown,
Ladies.
Ethan Spangler,
Men.
and returning again this week, we have my big brother Derek O'Neill.
Hello.
And this is a continuation of
And we are live from Cleveland.
of last episode.
Last
episode.
Don't say continuation. Suspension of disbelief, Alex.
I'm sorry, I ruined it.
Suspension
already.
of disbelief.
It's been 2 weeks. They've kept me prisoner here. Ever since the last episode. Please, I've lost 10 pounds. They won't feed me. They give me water by throwing it in my face with a bucket.
Yeah,
It's
the American
tragic.
prison system's
They're
really
eating
fucked up.
cookies in front of me. Yes, it is.
Alex, aka Far
Little
Cry 3.
experiment.
Oh my god, these cookies are so good.
They're so good. I'm going to eat with my mouth full in front of the mic.
Is he gonna eat with his mouth full?
Mouth hole.
You know all about him eating with his mouth full, don't you?
I'd like to say that this episode, and these two episodes actually, are brought to you by Carol's Mead, sweet honey wine.
That's Carol's with 2 R's and 2 L's.
Two
ladies
R's,
and
two
gentlemen.
L's. That Derek brought for us.
It's in the possessive.
and I'm already a little bit drunk.
A little bit.
So anyway, whose topic was it?
I said I could take over, but that was just to lighten the mood. I'm down for whatever.
What
We
you got, Ethan?
Okay, so surfing the internet, going through Facebook, and we have I see a BuzzFeed article that comes up, which I clicked on, and then it's a quiz. If you've ever gone through a BuzzFeed quiz,
Oh, yeah,
I don't
I've
know.
heard of those.
So I then took this BuzzFeed quiz, which was titled, "Am I a girl with too many trust issues?"
Oh my God! How did you just magically stumble upon this?
I just did. Turns out I'm not a girl with too many trust issues, so that's good.
Damien
Did it
is.
tell you how to take advantage of them? Because it seems like that's what you were doing.
Strategically, I think I've gathered enough.
I could use
Enough
this.
intel.
No, I mean, I just was wondering, like, what was your motivation for that? Like, get inside the mind of a woman.
No, I was like, I wonder.
He knows how to do that. All he does is take out a ukulele, be really nice to them, and then when they get too attached, he goes, "We should just be friends." But then he fucks the ever loving shit out of them. His dick has seen more pussy than that Broadway show with the cats.
Yeah.
What, cats?
Da-
Also-
Are they called cats?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ethan, you were not one to talk because I heard you playing the ukulele for Mistress like last night. I think it was.
I played guitar for
Did you
her,
say- did you refer
and
to
we
her
did
as a
not
mistress?
have sex. So,
Not with your dick, though.
also, she said she might listen to the show, so that's wonderful.
All right,
I'm
Ethan.
proud.
Ethan, you said that we did not have sex. You said that like someone who was like, no, we didn't go all the way. But
We only went 3/4 of the way.
no. That's what you were like. That's what you were like.
No, we didn't do anything.
Oh, nothing.
Nah, son.
Kissed a little.
Fair, just
He's
a little.
notorious for
No,
baby.
kissed a little.
Oh, kissed a little. I'm sorry.
Just a little.
Damien, just a little bit. Damien's giving me his skepticism with just looks darted at me.
But that's not my business.
Not your business.
You've seen that meme, right?
Yeah.
With the glass.
Shut up. Come on. Let's get to the topic. I'm sorry.
Ethan,
Okay, so I'm trying to get to the best. Okay, so Now, I wanted to bring up a BuzzFeed quiz on the show,
So
and I
are-
wanted to get everyone's.
Are we gonna take
answers
the
about
quiz?
this.
Okay.
Yes, we're
I'm
going to take the quiz.
excited.
Now, I don't know which one to pick, so I Google searched BuzzFeed quiz R, just the word ARE, and here are my drop-down options thus far. BuzzFeed quiz, are you the worst? BuzzFeed quiz, are you cool? BuzzFeed quiz, are you in love? Now, if I put in you,
Are you in love?
are you a? BuzzFeed quiz, are you a sandwich? Are you a bad person? Are you a feminist? Which I think those
Yes.
three quizzes just have the same.
To all of the
they just have
above.
the same question.
Yes.
I would like to take the one that says, "Are you a sandwich?"
Okay.
Because I'm drastically curious as
Yeah?
to what the hell Derek is.
I thought we were going to take the BuzzFeed quiz that you took.
No, I couldn't find that. I was going to pull that one up just to give some examples of questions, and I couldn't find it again. But
picked-
then that led me to find that when you Google search these words in this order, these are the drop-down options.
You have helped me pick which of my topics I'm going to
Okay,
do.
so
Are we gonna do
so are we going to do the? Are you a
sandwich?
sandwich? Does that sound good?
That sounds good to me.
Although I have to say, I suspect that it's probably rigged. If you put that you're Jewish, it'll tell you that you're a Rachel or a Reuben, probably. I mean,
Rachel or Ruben.
yeah.
I think no matter what, Alex is just going to. Alex is going to be a whale shark.
Fuck up! Alright, you guys want to hear some bullshit? So, during...
no.
You're going to hear it. During Shark Week,
Shark Week.
I am on my Xbox 360. Ethan and I are watching TV. We can't get Hulu to work.
Don't you have an Xbox One?
Yeah, but
we were in the
were
living
I
room.
don't.
We have
I don't
two
get it
Xbox
either.
But we
don't use it.
We have two Xbox 360s and
I
an
use
Xbox
it.
One in this house.
It's in my room.
I got you.
So it has Xbox. It has HDMI only out, which does our HDMI and
Just go on.
here doesn't
You're
work.
Babbling.
I know. So there's like a Dunkin' Donuts quiz. It's like, what kind of shark are you? And it's in like it's like an ad quiz in the bottom corner of the fucking Xbox dashboard. So I click it because I'm curious.
Because it was a pop-up?
Wait, it wasn't even like a pop-up. It was just there, and I wanted to
Shark
know.
Week. What kind of shark are you? Presented by Dunkin' Donuts.
Presented by Dunkin' Donuts.
We're like, okay.
Sounds legit.
So there's like a bunch of options. There's like a trailer, an ad, something.
A trailer?
I don't know.
A bunch of Shark Week stuff, and then a quiz.
A quiz. I'm like, I'll take the quiz, and it's in the ad. So I take the quiz, and it's just a bunch of inane questions. And at the end, it's like, this is the kind of shark you are, a whale shark. And I got so offended because that's like saying I'm the fat, disgusting shark that's just a whale, not a shark. But we get to group you in with these fucks because that's all you have.
Because you don't fit in anywhere else.
Yeah.
Whale sharks are actually very aggressive,
Well, it didn't feel like I was aggressive.
It sounds
and
like
they're
you're being pretty
very
aggressive right now.
and they're very much a subtle bitch. Your brother is the biggest subtle bitch
I'm
I
a-
have ever met.
I call it a not so bitch.
He's a subtle bitch all the time. He's that snobby, bitchy white girl that you hate being in line behind at Starbucks.
Oh, fuck you. That is not me. I'm quiet in line at Starbucks, bitch. A bitch. But Ethan fucking takes the quiz and gets Hammerhead Shark, and I'm so pissed off because he did like one answer differently than me.
It's because of the forehead.
Yeah, the 5-head.
You can make fun of my nose, I know.
Anyway, let's just take the fucking BuzzFeed quiz. I was just pissed about this stupid shark.
I'm curious to see if I'm a club or like a.
You're
like
a Reuben.
Like a
Okay,
strong
BuzzFeed.
tuna.
Which sandwich are you?
Question 1.
You should ask us individually.
No, let's do it as a group.
We'll answer as a group, and we'll come to a consensus as to if the four of us were put together in a sandwich, what kind of sandwich we would be.
Yeah.
Ice cream sandwich.
Damn
That-
right. Speaking of which, I have some in my freezer.
Question 1.
Okay, pick a website. Reddit, Amazon, ESPN.com, Facebook, Bing, YouTube.
Pornhub.
Amazon?
Amazon.
Pornhub.
I'd go
Other.
Facebook.
That's not a list of the options. I don't know what I'm saying.
That's not an option.
so you would use Bing to get to Pornhub. Because, yeah, right? That's
Let's
what
go-
people use Bing.
Bing has
Sincere-
good video
a
searches.
sincere, yeah, it would be Reddit probably for me.
Okay.
But
Can
how
we
are
agree
are
on
we
it?
taking this all at once?
We're
together?
taking it as
Yeah,
a
we're
team.
trying to come to a
That's
consensus.
why I said we should
Four
do
of
it
us.
individually. It'd be better to do it individually.
No, but that would take forever.
I was not
Take a
listening to
second.
any of you. What did you say?
We're coming to a consensus.
Yeah, there are
That's
11
not
questions.
going to happen. I mean, have you ever seen the Three Stooges? I mean, there's 4.
These are wonderful questions, by the way.
All right,
I scrolled through.
Damien and I will take it together, and then we'll have Derek go through.
Okay.
I think that's a good
Okay.
compromise.
So those,
I'm waving at Leah. She said she's watching.
Okay,
Cool.
I can see.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Leah. I'm sorry.
all right.
love you very
So website Amazon.
Amazon.
All right.
Okay. Sounds good. Pick a 90s Nickelodeon show.
Rocco.
Salute Your Shorts. Legends of the Hidden Temple. Nickelodeon Guts. Clarissa Explains It All. Ren and Stimpy or Doug?
Ren and Stimpy.
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Ren and
Can you
have to go
can
with
you go with
Legends.
me?
Yeah, Legends is pretty
All
legit.
right. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
There's weird people dressed up to scare the kids. Fuck those
It's fucking
guys.
so great though.
Pick a donut.
Hold on. Wait,
The top middle is what I'm going with. Does that work for you?
How do you-
chocolate
You have, to,
glaze.
you have to explain the options because
Okay, that's right. There is a video aspect and an audio aspect that I don't think that picked up either. So we have a regular glazed donut. We have
Icing with-
an iced donut, a pink iced donut with sprinkles with one bite taken out of it. Mind you, this is the only donut with a bite
used
taken out of
donut.
it.
I don't want a
But
pre-owned
it's just
donut.
a fucking picture of a donut. It's
Then we have a chocolate glazed donut. It looks like it is in fact a.
chocolate.
all right. Just take the chocolate
Okay,
glazed
okay.
donut. We're
This is why.
And then we also have a jelly filled donut, a cruller, and an assorted bunch of munchkins.
the cruller's good.
yeah, Crawler's the winner.
Chocolate glaze.
We'll go with chocolate glaze.
Okay,
It's fine.
they'll go with chocolate glaze.
Why are you taking this?
You're
quiz?
taking it separately.
Pick
No,
a
I'm
slang
not.
word. YOLO, which by the way has giraffe print behind it. Amaze balls, which has pink camo behind it. Swag, which has orange swirly with barbed wire going across. Turned up with some star balloons. Swole in front of a brick wall. And
Swole.
cray at a rave.
Swole.
These all have backgrounds.
Swag.
Swole.
Swag. You have a shirt that says swag.
Swole.
Swole, yeah.
All right, fine, swole, whatever.
Swole. Alex is just getting real
Come on,
upset.
Alex. I want you to be my
You got your
swole
way
dude.
last time.
I'm compromising like all of the way.
See? Subtle pitch.
Okay,
Subtle
so Alex
pitch.
gets this one. Pick something green. Now we have lettuce, green M&Ms, $100 bills, weed, Guinness with a little shamrock on it on the glass.
Oh.
I believe it's green, but I'm colorblind, so we're gonna move past that.
Is that
Kermit
brown?
the Frog.
Guinness.
Okay.
I knew.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Pick an SNL Weekend Update host. Oh, there's some that I don't know. They're old ones, but I know. Are you gonna go with? The two that I know you know.
Norm Macdonald is
The
the
two
only
that I
one.
know you know are
Great one, yeah.
Amy, Tina and Amy, and then weirdly enough, Jimmy Fallon's not on here, but we have Seth Meyers. So between
Tina Fey.
okay, well it's Tina and Amy together.
Okay, Tina and Amy then.
Okay, pick an appetizer from Olive Garden: breadsticks, salad, soup.
Breadsticks.
Breadsticks. yeah.
Okay, yeah, that is the right answer.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
also
I want them.
there's also like a margarita, and then there's some sort of dessert.
That's not an appetizer.
I don't know, and then there's like it looks like calamari, but it's Olive Garden, so
They probably have
some
calamari.
dipping sauce. Pick a Star Wars character: Chewie, Han Solo, Princess Leia. Lando Calrissian. Sorry, they're just pictures, and
Okay.
I'm having brain farts. Jar Jar Binks and C-3PO.
Is Han Solo the guy with the red face?
No. I would say Han Solo, though. Can we go?
Yeah, sure.
Star Wars character?
Sure.
Jar
Derek's the other
Jar
voice in
Binks
this.
all the way, guys.
Fuck you. Derek.
If you pick Jar Jar Binks,
Pick a
if you
Star Wars
liter-
character is the question.
Why are you asking me?
Han Solo, Lando Calrissian.
Han Solo.
Okay,
obviously.
Okay.
that's the right answer.
That's what I said!
Jar Jar Binks looking at me like it's a question. You assholes. You guys are so young, it's disgusting.
Pick something fluffy. Cute little kitty.
My ball sack.
Kitty.
Cute little kitty.
No, wait.
Very fluffy pancakes. A very fluffy pillow. A very fluffy baby cow. A very fluffy bathrobe.
Wait, what
and
is
pink
this?
cotton
Pick
candy.
something fluffy.
Pancakes.
I thought it was
Pancakes.
the cutest thing you can lift.
Pancakes.
Oh.
Fluffy.
You're
Alex,
hungry.
You know fluffy pancakes. So.
Pillow?
Look at those fluffy pancakes. Those are like inch-tall
Just
pancakes.
pick something so we could be done
Those are
with this.
fluffy pancakes. I agree with Derek.
This is horrible.
Okay.
This is awful.
This is
All right.
abhorrent.
Now, pick some sprinkles, guys.
Ethan, just pick the sprinkles for
no
us.
one who's listening can see what the
Okay.
fuck you're picking. So put the fucking phone away.
I was going to try to describe the sprinkles, but they're all just little colored dots.
It could take you 5 minutes to describe one thing.
I'm picking dinosaur sprinkles.
Ah,
And this one's really good for me because I'm colorblind. Pick a shade of gray.
the top left one.
Okay.
That's it, right?
Why did you specify?
Because I saw them. What is it?
With all of us coming together for a consensus on what we should
I
pick.
hate you all, little.
We are a hamburger with lettuce instead of buns.
Oh, yeah! We're disgusting! I would eat the shit out of that
Fuck
right
yeah, Atkins style.
Okay. So that is us taking a BuzzFeed quiz.
That was horrible. I'm gonna forget that ever happened.
A lesson in roommatesdom. What did you end up being from the needy girlfriend or whatever?
I'm not. I am not.
You were just not?
Yeah. It was a yes or no.
Yeah, Alex, he's a lady killer. You know.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
He's Casey Anthony.
All right. What's
Oh, her baby was a girl. Yeah, so that would make her a lady killer.
Derek?
A
What,
little lady killer.
what's
I think he was saying a killer who was a lady.
Oh, that's funny too.
Or he's not. And I just
Casey Anthony's just a bitch.
Derek? What is the most embarrassing BuzzFeed quiz you ever took? Is that the one that Leah sent to all of us? What kind of chaos are you or whatever?
I think mine was like, how many times do you say I'm sorry too much? And
Yeah.
it was like a BuzzFeed, like 100 questions. It was like, do you apologize when this happens? And I said yes 60 times, like on a list of 100 things. And I just realized, like, oh my God, like, do you apologize when you bump into someone? Do you apologize when someone bumps into you?
So, around question 80, did you realize that you had a vagina? Is that what came from this quiz?
Yeah, no, it actually, no, around question 80, I realized I had a low self-esteem.
That much darker
But
answer.
comparing me to, no, yes, that is also fair.
I'm sorry.
Dean, what's the most?
No, I told you I'm gonna fucking fight you if you try and insult me. If you're gonna if you're gonna make fun of me, be clever, you dick.
Dean, what's the most embarrassing Buzz quiz?
Yeah.
I'm drunk. Whatever.
I actually don't. I don't take many. I think mine was like
take more than I'm
which
proud
Powerpuff Girls character are you? And I fucking the dumb one.
Oh, I thought that you would be
No,
the transgender
I was not-
crab.
Him.
I said which Powerpuff Girl, not which character.
You said which Powerpuff Girls character?
No, I said girl. Right. You can play the audio back. Whatever.
Yeah, we can play the audio back. Let's
Play it back,
cut
Alex.
the beat. I need to breathe.
Alex, when you're editing this, play that part again. All right. You said Powerpuff Girls.
Really, just talk to yourself.
I
in
did.
The future.
What's up, me?
What's up, future me?
Go get in your DeLorean.
Just imagine he's like Eddie Murphy recording The Nutty Professor. You know, like that must have looked insane if you were a crew member on set, right?
Oh, totally. I did.
Get
Not,
in, Marty.
I did not BuzzFeed quizzes, but quizzes of all the Harry Potter books. And I got a 11 out of 11 on the 5th book. I just want to put it out there. So fuck
bet you
everyone. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
The internet's a wonderful thing, especially Google.
Alex knows all about Harry Potter.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he could tell you all about how to get to Azkaban. But more, he can tell you how to get out if you need to. He can take you on platform 9 3/4, all the way down to Hogwarts. Get you where you need to go.
Explore
Bertie
the,
Potts, he's
explore the
got 'em.
Chamber of Secrets.
He'll explore your chamber of secrets, Ethan.
All right.
I can write a promo for you. I'll be your hype man.
Okay. My topic. We'll save the best for
Well,
last.
No,
so was
we didn't.
your
we
BuzzFeed
didn't
quiz,
complete-
was that
This is
just
my
that
Harry
you did
Potter.
the Harry Potter ones?
Yeah, they weren't BuzzFeed, but
He
they were
didn't do
quizzes.
his topic yet, right? Because he still hasn't made Derek.
I know Derek is the best for
Okay.
last.
Okay.
Well, I had maybe 2 topics. To
Well,
pick on.
so like that's fine.
Well, it depends.
Because
Yeah,
we're
we got 2 shows.
we're
It's good.
making good time here. So in order to start this topic, I'm going to incite a Yahoo Answers question first. And the question is so there's the subject line and then like the actual question. Is there such thing as a fart fetish?
Yes.
My cousin once said that he would love to suck a fart out of Miley Cyrus's ass.
Ooh, wow.
And that's it.
Was that the answer?
That was the question.
Oh no, that was the question.
I cannot imagine, like, I fart on dudes that I date because I think it's kind of cute, and I'll fart on people I really care about. So,
Can we
my
deconstruct that last
No,
sentence
hold on.
for just a moment? Can we analyze that before we move any further?
We definitely have to pause right now. Everyone stop. The train just paused.
Stop! What
Yeah.
the fuck?
I don't.
I mean, this is part of like the pale. This is part of what like makes me kind of wish I was gay, you know, like because you could be like, hey, shit, bro, Monday Night Football is in 30 minutes. You think we have enough time to suck each other off? Like that's what I'm talking about. Like, and like Damien's like, yeah, we farted on each other because it's kind of cute. That's totally what two guys would do. They would definitely fart on each other.
Honestly,
No,
I can
no,
tell
no.
you. I can tell you guys the moment that I knew that my last serious relationship wasn't going to work out, and this is a 2-year relationship. About 3.5 months in, I accidentally farted on her, and she pretended like it was okay, and it went downhill from there.
What do you
Yeah.
mean
That's-
pretended? It's of course it's okay. Girls like farts, and tell them they do. And if they say that they don't, tell them they're wrong for not liking them.
The straw that broke the camel's back was 6 months later when she farted on me in her sleep, and it only went downhill from there for another year.
So, Damien, you fart on guys because it's cute.
That's how I show affection. I'll be like,
No.
hey, what are you doing? I'm like,
Alex.
what? And then I'll like creep over, and then I'll. And I'll
See, now
and I'll-
maybe it would be cute if you're like, but no, when you fart, it's like.
and they always smell like shit. Our maturity
All
level
right,
just
that was just ridiculous.
Yeah, well, that's
That's
accurate.
accurate.
Well, I was just
smells like bad potato chips 24/7.
I was just thinking, like, you know, part of it made sense in my head, like, because, like you might just go, penis goes in there, huh? Like, you know, like that, you know? But then, like,
Yeah.
the opposite's not true. Women don't just, like, queef, and you think, like, oh,
my
air pocket for my cock. You know, you don't think that.
my mom did one time. She queefed in the car with me one time.
She didn't do it to come on to you.
Oh,
She wasn't like sitting on. Hey, what do you think of that?
She's go like,
no,
and
no,
then look at you
no.
expectingly, like, what are you gonna do now?
We were driving, and she was taking me. She was taking me to school, and I was like, "You know, Mom, blah," and we're talking, and then she goes, and I said, what was that?" And then she giggled, and she said, "I queefed," and I said, "What?"
Wait,
See?
what?
That's not okay. If your mother ever does that around you, that's when you know you have a fucked up relationship.
What do you mean, Alex? This is we were literally following the dialogue from the episode of South Park on this very subject. Do not do that in front of my son heard you queef. My God, that's so inappropriate. It's ridiculous.
I shit on the
Thoughts
floor
and
once,
quacks.
and my mom had to pick it up. So
Well,
Yeah.
the question,
with her bare hands, and I was 13.
the original topic was I don't even remember.
I have no idea where
It
we
was,
got.
about farting
but-
on boys. That's what the original top. We haven't deviated at all.
So you-
No. It was.
So, Davey, you're telling me cute.
Well, if it was a
Your
gay
farts
boy-
are disgusting because they smell like celery. Damn veggie.
I don't even eat that much celery. Like, rarely do I eat celery.
Do you guys want to hear what the best answer according to Yahoo was?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Chosen by the voter. Excuse me. What he said about Miley Cyrus doesn't mean he has a fetish. But yes, it is theoretically possible for a human to associate sexual arousal with any object, body part, or situation not conventionally sexual. Fetishes are not normal and may interfere with complete sexual development. I would never have a partner with a fetish because I wouldn't want someone else's twist to interfere with my own sexual development within that relationship. So that guy sounds like a piece of shit.
Like, yeah, no, I definitely understand that. Like, any
I love
object, body part, or scenario can definitely be a fetish. Like, for example, every time I see a goat, I just get a massive erection.
The question, I think my topic originally, I don't even
Can
remember.
you not bring up your exes, please?
The topic originally was just about weird fetishes that we
I love feet.
heard of.
I can fully confidently say this now on this podcast. I love feet. There is nothing that gets me more
Hard.
Hotter than a fucking
Then
rock.
a nice big.
Damien,
fucking
you're
toe.
gonna regret this entire 2 hours
What?
tomorrow. You're just gonna be like, Alex, can you just not put any of what I said in it?
I love a big toe. Big toe. That is liberal.
That's
You
like,
know, I don't really believe you, Damien. The way you're saying it, the way you're patting that foot, you know, I mean, I need to see you stick those toes in your mouth. I mean, we have a webcam here. If you're really
I
a
will
foot
not.
fetishist,
I'm so sorry.
oh my god!
who just stuck their toes under my foot? Somebody.
That was
Damien, that was Ethan's foot!
for reference. That is the big toe that got wedged under his car tire last night, and I have yet to trim that toenail.
Well,
Don't you regret it
Didn't
immediately?
you feel it cut your tongue?
Brought to you by Carol's Mead, thank you.
It
Well-
tasted like Mrs. Dash, though. I appreciate that.
Oh my god.
You know, I mean,
I do enjoy me a good Mrs. Dash joke.
Damien, be sure to keep that one running well.
Other than feet, let's say. Feet
The
is
table
pretty normal.
blend.
Alex, could you grab me? Whatever
I
you're
definitely don't think any woman would like a man to fart on her under any circumstances. I feel like compelled, seeing that there's no women here to talk about it. I feel like I should say that.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
No.
But
Did I
Yeah,
really
that's not
just
a
put
topic.
your toe.
yes, you did. I just let it happen. I was impressed. I got my foot on the table and I didn't fall over. So,
I can't believe I kind of made you do that, like with my words.
oh, I get a natty bow.
And the worst part is that anyone who's audio doesn't like Damien right now has his hand in his face. He's disappointed in himself. He's reconsidering a lot of the decisions he's made up to this point, even in the day. I mean, he's upset in a level that I can't properly express in words. And that his silence, I think, is more an apt description than anything I could say.
Because I know where that toe has been.
But like, what? Like in a vagina? Do you think he just like shoves his feet in pussy on the weekend?
No,
One
it's been
time.
on the floor, Alex, in your filthy fucking apartment.
I know.
When was the last time you vacuumed? He just had to walk around a cat litter box filled with shit, which his foot could have slipped into. There's no cat here. There's no cat here. It's filled with shit. And he put his foot near it. And you're wondering what Damien's worried about.
We just have shit around sometimes.
Maybe he put it in a pussy, and that's why Damien thinks he's gross because he's gay. But no, it's the cat shit.
It's.
I'm way more upset.
I'm really glad Derek's here.
When was the last time
Now
you
I know
washed your
whose foot it was that was creeping over to mine.
My foot was up on the table.
No,
that was
go honestly.
foot
Like,
one.
this is a serious condition. When was the last time you washed your foot?
I took a bath this morning.
So this morning, Damien.
Actually, sorry, this afternoon. I woke up at 1 p.m.
Damien, you're fine. In all honesty, the human
Gonna get
saliva
AIDS?
actually kills most bacteria that
Gonna
you
get
find.
AIDS?
No, you're not going to get AIDS.
You're gonna get AIDS from someone who doesn't have AIDS. Congratulations. You discovered the missing link. I don't know why I said it like that.
Well, that's
Missing
what
link.
happens when a boy does stuff with a boy.
Yeah,
AIDS happens.
AIDS happened.
It just sort of comes out of nowhere.
I really put your toe.
That's
on
why
my
they call it
toe.
coming.
That was
AIDS
pretty.
is here.
That was pretty hot. It was all captured on video, so I'm excited to just play back.
Do not screen cap it.
Can you make a GIF of that and send it to
I
me?
made a quite a great GIF not too long ago.
When
so,
Ethan admitted he would suck a dick if he had to.
yeah, that's not actually what he admitted.
Wait, who said they were going to suck a dick?
No, I I said like
I just want someone to set the story
hypothetically,
straight.
like,
Hypothetically.
if there were one dick that he said that there was one dick for everyone.
What is all this blaming going around? You just
So-
say what you wanted.
Hypothetically, if there were one dick
You
out there
wanted
for
a
me,
giant cock.
if there were one dick out there for me, it would be like an attractive, mostly female hermaphrodite.
Mostly female.
Hermaphrodite
All right.
has both. It's a nice cock, but also she's a wonderful lady aside from the
Okay,
cock.
So you want a
gotta-
mermaid?
I've got to tell you something now that is disgusting, and because I think I found your woman, I think I found her online. It's kind of ridiculous, and I hope Leah's not actually watching because this is
Oh,
tragic.
she is.
No, I'm sure she's not, but it was I found your ideal woman. Ethan, I was looking on navigating a porn site as I do
Browsing
from
the
vacation. Yeah, I was
internet.
just browsing, and when you're like sometimes like mid-jack, like you're a good 10, 15 minutes in, and like your standards have lowered, and suddenly like you're way more curious than you were going in. And like this is when you click on like the horse stuff and like the weird stuff that you didn't think you'd actually be into. And I was like, what is this?
Anything where
is
English
this
isn't the first language.
Yeah, anything like that, like especially if there's no subtitles and you're just trying to construct the story as it goes along in this other language, which is Russian 90% of the time. But I found it was a woman doing a cam show, and I should clarify, it wasn't a woman, it was a transvestite, and she was very attractive as a woman from the waist up, but then she had a penis. But the whole cam show was her like playing with her boobs first, then jacking off onto her own face.
David was so not ready for that.
And so like, and I was like, it said that in the title. Like it was one of those things like sexy tranny ... I was like, all right. I clicked on it. And then I see the whole title when it comes up. It's sexy tranny jerks off onto his own face. And of course the title is vague in the sexual description of this person. But I was like, sure, let's see what happens. And exactly,
It told you what was going to happen.
I don't know what I was expecting because it was very straightforward. But either way, I can send you a link, Ethan. It was horrible.
And
You
I
see,
told
no,
you-
I'm not about the
can I try this?
transvestite. I was very, very specifically
Well, yeah.
a hermaphrodite.
A hermaphrodite.
She would have to also have a vagina, but just in addition to her full female form, also have a penis. Like if
So she would
if I
have-
had to suck a dick,
So you're describing something that's impossible. Because there are hermaphroditic babies that are born, but they usually have one set of genitalia removed. And it's usually
this is the one hypothetical situation where I would suck a dick. Alex made me lay one out,
I was just.
and that's it.
I didn't
It's sort of
make
like,
you.
It's sort of like when you write a short story. You're not allowed to make the character like win the lottery. You can't like make it crazy. It's supposed to be set in some realistic universe. You have to use reality as a basis. And him like picking some angelic hermaphroditic cock. That is such a cop out.
Yeah.
I mean, if
And
I
then,
was
then he made me fuck a goat. So I don't know what you want from me, man.
made it, yeah, I heard that. Alex was trying very hard to get you to admit that you would just rather fuck a goat.
Well, it's
so
because
no one
it's
would
fucking
know.
true.
I mean, it's really relevant to
No, it was
in comparison
it was fine.
to
It was
action.
fine. But no, at this point, all I want to know is
I'm
what
not-
cock Ethan wants, because I can tell you right now. Let's see.
Did you just raise your hand, Damien?
Yeah, I actually, I should. Damien, you have a question?
No, he was just saying my cock is the cock that Ethan.
Oh, I see. See that once again lost in radio.
Yep.
Thank you, Alex.
I gotcha.
But no, I was just thinking like Brad Pitt. I'd suck him off. I don't care. I mean, just think about it. Like, let's say you're talking to some woman at a bar. Like, I'm not gay, but
I sucked off
Yeah.
Brad Pitt once.
I sucked Brad Pitt off, and you wouldn't believe the story. I mean, we were in Malibu, and he's like,
Kanye
I'm not
West
gay,
made
but
videos.
but I don't know what's going on, but there's just something about you, and and so I would say,
a Drake
yeah,
story.
of course, I
You know
I
what?
have no-
I'd pull from. We had a previous topic, which was top 3 celebrity one night stands. That was episode 1, wasn't it?
that sounds kind of boring. I mean, did everyone pick Jennifer Lawrence?
No, it was just
No.
me, actually.
By
the way,
you
it
didn't
wasn't
pick Jennifer
boring.
Lawrence because you
By
want
the
to make
way,
an honest woman out of her.
How many naked pictures of her has she taken?
She's
My
taking
God.
quite a great deal.
Over 100 that exist on
Galleries upon galleries.
The internet. It is crazy.
You guys support the fappening.
No, you know what I found out?
Don't act like you're on a moral high
You know,
horse.
you know
But
what?
I would have to pull from that list, and I would say that we derailed a little bit on that topic in episode
always
1,
derail.
but
fine.
Alex and I each laid out our top 3 male celebrity one night stands.
that's very good.
Before we put out our top 3 females, and I would have to say if there was one dick, I would suck Joseph Gordon-Levitt's dick. If there was one,
That's kind of creepy.
I'd
Looks kind of greasy. Probably wouldn't wash his hair.
no, that only in Don John. Rest of the time he's good.
No,
He's a
that's
clean-cut
fair.
gentleman.
Not gonna argue with you on that.
All over, I'm sure.
Every time it's like we start a new episode, it's like we talk about porn and dicks. It's like
Although, I did want to say about the fappening one thing that I thought was just really bizarre, because of course I was like, where's the torrent file? But I found that out, and the thing that I was just shocked, that just took me by surprise, is that, I mean, Kate Upton was one of the celebrities that whose photos were leaked, and I don't know if you're aware, but she at one point dated former American League MVP Justin Verlander, who is a very well-known pitcher in Major League Baseball. He won the MVP, which is something that a pitcher hasn't won in 60 years. And he is an ugly fucking bastard. I mean, he has the least sexy body I've ever seen, and he's a professional athlete standing in all these gay poses with Kate Upton. Like, why am I looking at these photos is what I wondered first. And like,
It's Kate Upton's debut as a new major league catcher. That's what
Major
that
League
is.
catcher. Oh,
I get it.
because they were a battery. That's right.
All right. That's it. That's the end of my topic. Let's just Derek.
What was your topic again?
Weird fetishes.
Weird fetishes?
Yeah, we didn't even. Damien just sucked my toe, and then we derailed.
No,
that's
no, I
true.
tried saying that I had a foot fetish, and then it all went.
That is true.
I'm done.
I'm sorry.
Next topic. Derek, round us out. You've got a couple.
Well,
Let's hear him.
I do have a couple, but I mean, it depends. I mean, do you actually have a foot fetish, Damien? I'm curious now.
I think I do a little bit.
I mean, you're like sucking on toes, or 'cause-
I don't know. I just like feet.
I don't know. I didn't feel like there was any heart in that.
Because you're my
felt
best
it
friend,
felt really
and I'm
insincere.
not going to suck your toe off. Are you kidding me? What have you done for me?
What is his toe like? Not as good as Brad Pitt? Is that what you're saying?
No.
You even admitted the other podcast that you could appreciate a nice
The whole
foot.
time you were sucking my toe, I just felt like your mind was somewhere else. I just don't
You
think this is
didn't
gonna work.
You never even looked him in the eye while you were doing it. Derek, please save us.
the toes are like, it's kind of like 69. You could share.
You kept calling me Drake.
Okay, but
LL Cool J.
so
Can we please not?
yeah, my
Okay,
topic
Darren.
was just pretty straightforward. I actually was thinking about silly things like what is the worst, most like which drug deal have you been a part of that went crazy or just went wrong?
Been a part of like as in like adjacent
Alex.
to. All right, I'll stop.
What?
Fine.
No,
I don't know. I was just gonna clarify.
it's just if people smoke drugs, then normally they have to pick them up from someone, and if they're given to that, it'll happen a few times, and usually one of those happens to be pretty weird and strange.
yeah.
Okay, I have one.
All right, let's hear it.
So mine wasn't even supposed to become this, but I was. I have a friend who actually lives relatively near where your mom lives in Florida, and Alex was out of town for the weekend. Actually, let me start just a little bit before this. I got a Facebook message from this friend, and he was like, "Hey, I'm going to be coming up to Maryland. Could I stay at your place for the weekend?" And I was like, "Maybe. We'll talk about it." And then we didn't talk about it, and then I was an adult with a full-time job, and I forgot about it and just went on with my daily work life. Now, it's a Thursday. Alex has just left. He's out of town. And this guy, who I'm aware lives in Florida, shows up in my story. He goes, "Hey, man, am I still staying at your place?" And I'm like, shit. And I felt really bad, so I was like, okay, cool. Whatever. So I get off work. I think since he has gotten off of the plane, I'm pretty sure he had been high this entire time. But he's like, I need to go pick up some more weed. Will you come with me? And I'm like, okay, sure. So I go with him. I drive him to pick up weed behind my old middle school. That's where his pickup point is for his dealer in Maryland, is behind my middle school. So I drive there. I park in my middle school parking lot, which is a weird thing, and we go and we sit out back. Now he's sitting there with one of those little like keychain metal bowls, like the little itty bitty metal pipes.
A keychain bowl?
Yeah, it has like a little keychain
Jesus
ring
Christ.
with like a chain, but it's like that. It's like that big.
But do you mean like on his keychain?
I don't think he had it on his keychain, but it still had the
Okay.
keychain thing attached to
Jeez,
it.
I'm just imagining him putting that through security at the airport.
Maybe he bought it at the mall because I know they sell it at like the Quick Stop downstairs.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So
Paraphernalia.
anyway, so he has this thing, and we're sitting around waiting for like 20 minutes, and I'm like, and I do the math, and I'm like, I can have a hit. I'll be good. I can drive, whatever. It's not a long drive home. I'm like, sure. And so I take it, and then immediately I notice that something's not right. Now, it is not weed in this bowl. It is spice.
Oh,
And,
shit.
I've heard that it's not the first time you have it, or even beyond that, it's not a good experience, or it can be a bad experience, but that it's much worse when you don't know that that's what's happening, when you haven't prepared yourself for it.
That sounds like something someone would write on the internet.
Yeah.
But so I take a hit, and immediately my brain jumps back to I'm still at work, and I forget having left work, and then my brain jumps forward to how much I wish I was at my apartment, and I'm like, ugh. And then my brain comes back to my body, and I'm like, how the fuck did I get here? And so I'm sitting there, high out of my mind. I have to drive home. And so I start like tapping my foot because that's my constant. I'm grounding myself in reality with that. I'm like, okay. Drug dealer shows up. I'm sitting next to him, and I don't even know how everything went down. But then I was like, I can't drive, man. I can't drive. And then people I know, I never saw their face, but they show up. They're like, hey, Ethan. I'm like, They show up in the darkness to this drug dealer who we're already meeting up with, and I'm freaking out. It was probably like 20 minutes. Felt like 2 or 3 hours, but I knew that I couldn't drive, so I'm pacing back and forth in the cool air. I'm like walking over to the outside water fountain, like by the basketball courts, taking a drink of water every like 2 minutes. I went to my van, got an opened stale bag of goldfish that had spilled all over the floor, scooped it back in, ate the whole thing, kept pacing back and forth, and finally I drove myself home. But yeah, so that's how that went down. A lovely Thursday afternoon at work turned into that. And then he stayed at my house for 2 more days. And first thing the next morning, we smoked some drugs together. And then I was like, I have to clean my apartment. And so I went to clean, and I stepped outside, and he had been outside smoking a cigarette. And then he handed me a bowl, and I was like, sure.
Okay.
And he did it to me again.
Well...
And then I didn't clean the apartment, and I finally cleaned it before Alex came home.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, why would you smoke with it again if he gave you spice the first time?
Because I was with him when he bought weed.
The answer is because he's dumb.
The answer is because I was with him when he bought weed.
And because you're dumb. I wouldn't.
Fooled me once, shame on you.
He handed me my piece, my smoking paraphernalia.
Well, all right. If he had manipulated your piece, well, you know what? If you'd let him have your piece, that's on you.
So
I know you're very upset. All right.
That is my story. That's the only story I have.
I don't have any.
You don't have any? Like I'm sure.
Did you suck on his
I
toes?
have bad drug experiences, but not bad drug pickups. I mean, I've never.
Well, I mean, you can share one of those.
All right. Well, I was like 13
Oh my God.
at the time, and I was in the Laurel McDonald's in 216, and me and a bad crowd I was with that I don't hang out with, never should have. I was a bad kid at the time. Him and Alex and I didn't
You were
actually.
14.
Yeah, 14. Alex and I didn't talk actually, and Ethan and I did. I don't think me and Ethan knew each other at this point.
Not yet.
I was looking for cigarettes. My friends and I were looking for cigarettes, and there was a bag in the McDonald's in one of the tables where you sit down.
Well, you were young. It's weird.
I know. It's just it's an interesting sentence that I
Yeah,
haven't heard
right.
since high school. I was looking for
And
cigarettes.
I find cigarettes in the shopping bag, and I lift the bag up to look inside of it, but I don't take anything in it. Well, 10 minutes go by, and here comes this guy walking in McDonald's that looks like a homeless guy that would get tackled and arrested on cops. He has missing teeth, he has a mullet, he's clothes were all ripped and torn.
He just looked like he needed to get tackled. That's all I'm saying.
He starts yelling at me, and he's like, "Boy, you're touching my shit." Well, they locked down the whole entire McDonald's because that was his bag that I was going through. He threatens me. So an hour and a half goes by. So we're dumb 14-year-olds. He asks my wife and I to walk around the back of the McDonald's, and we all do it after this dude threatened the living shit out of me.
With you?
Yeah.
Oh.
So he pulls out this little medicine bottle that has all these pills in it.
I'm just glad that's what he whipped out.
And he
Not his toes.
and he offers it to us. And at the time, I had one of the old flip phones. You know how on the old flip phones, if you hit the volume button on the side, it would play the ringtone. Well, I did that in my pocket and acted like my mom was calling. It was our cop out, and we left. I'm trying to think of another.
It's funny to me that you felt like you needed some polite reason to get away from this fucking crazy homeless guy with his shopping bag he was arguing with you about. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I got this call. I would love to stay, but I've got to go. You know, I mean,
I would
believe
love
me.
to stay and have drugs with you,
Trust
but
me.
my mom's calling, so I can't.
I've got
Sorry.
another funny story. I've got one more. I was at my ex-boyfriend's house last year, and I think I may have mentioned this to you and Ethan, but I don't think I ever went into detail. And my ex-boyfriend and I finally decided to be social and go over to his neighbors next door for New Year's. We were high out of our minds. We may have smoked, maybe did like 12 or 14 bowl hits between the two of us in like an hour.
Christ.
So
In an hour.
I meant each, by the way.
Just let him explain. Just I'm at an 8. I'm at a 9. I don't know. I couldn't tell the scale by then.
So we walk in, and I introduce myself. It's a black light party. So everything's neon, and I'm like, sorry for.
And you're
pulling
both
that.
just covered in semen.
Well, like,
It would be. I mean,
that didn't happen.
yeah, okay.
And I'm like standing around, and I get very paranoid if I'm high around people that I don't know.
Yeah.
And so this party's happening. He's talking to like some person. I'm talking to nobody because I know nobody but him. There's this black guy, very angry black guy in the corner, like away from everyone else with dreads, and he's
That's
like,
right.
And all you can see are his eyes and teeth just glowing.
No,
and
yes.
he's just.
What did he say?
No, he has like this stare, like he was going.
Yo, dog, you
to-
glowing like Casper the Ghost. You covered in jizz.
Well, look, so he's staring.
Continue, please.
He's staring at everybody. Well, I'm getting paranoid. I'm like, all right, something is up with this dude. And I'm still high out of my fucking mind. So I like turn away to like talk to some chick, and I stand up and start talking to this chick because when I'm intoxicated on anything, I'll talk to anybody. You can ask your brother; it's really bad, and Ethan. So I start taking pictures of all these girls, and I'm like acting like they're photographers. I don't know any of them, and I'm like, "Come on, work it, own it." And I was like, "All right, now make out." And they all did it. And I got a picture on this chick's phone that I don't know who they are. So I handed the phone
Oh, you're a genie.
back. We
You're a wizard, Damien.
we all go outside on the balcony,
They did it because they knew you were gay. You're just covered in semen. They could tell.
and they're passing around the bowl. So my ex-boyfriend and I now take another like 4 more hits. So we are completely all of a sudden. People start walking up to the balcony, like, because we're outside on, like, 3rd floor part balcony. People are walking up and screaming at the owner of the apartment, and the girl's like, don't fucking come up. So but something was going to happen. Well, that black guy is standing in the apartment by himself while everyone else in the balcony, and he's glaring. And I'm like, all right, we need to go. So I convinced my ex-boyfriend and his roommate to get back into our apartment. 20 minutes later, you hear like banging and thrashing, and then the cops come upstairs and go into the apartment, and I was sitting there shaking. That is the worst, is when I'm paranoid high, and I think like, oh god, it's the worst.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I've never had bad pickup experiences because I don't pick it up. Usually, I just find a way to get it
Yeah.
without going to get it.
This is fake, pretty much.
What?
Fake.
What?
But
Fake?
I think I know what you're gonna say.
yeah, you know.
Yeah. It's a good one.
When I was looking for Derek's apartment because I was going to help him move, and this was that day, and I parked across the street at another apartment complex that I mistaked for your apartment complex.
Yeah.
Mistook.
And I'm walking through, and I see two black gentlemen talking.
Did you run?
No, and I see them. I'm like, they're talking about something. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking for your address, which you had given me. I was looking for your number.
Yeah. Wasn't to be found.
It wasn't to be found. I walk, and as I walk past, now it's just the one guy. Is
The
like
one black guy.
the one black guy, gentleman, and I am walking past.
Man of
he's like,
business.
Hey man, hey you, and I'm like, I didn't know if he was talking to me, but he called out again, and I look back, and he's like, hey man, you trying to get cray? And I,
Oh shit.
and I was like, I didn't hear him correctly. I'm like, no, I'm looking for this apartment number. He's like, you trying to get high? I got weed, and then he referenced like some other thing that I didn't understand the name of. I was like,
Probably Percocets.
I've got craze, and I'm like, no, I ain't about that life. And I said that to him.
I ain't about that life.
And I said it in the most like white blackish way.
I ain't about
White
that
blood.
life.
I ain't about that life.
Why don't you and Ethan tell your brother what happens when I get around black people?
Whether you turn into a black person and you just like go full on ghetto.
I can't.
It's like, it's doing something nice. It's
Oh,
cool.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
Damien, is that really your voice?
It's
pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's
The secret
incredible.
is, no, he actually just gets white around white people.
You know what's funny is that black people do the same thing. Like if Damien was just a black guy, he would be
Hey,
talking
Charles.
like this.
Hey Charles, how
Hey,
you doing,
guys.
man?
You know, but then he gets around.
Howdy diddly, Negro.
But when you're around family, and you know what I mean when I say that, when you're around brothers, you talk differently.
But I said that to this guy and he's like, "Oh, that's cool, man," and then he just walked away. So
Yeah,
worked.
No, it's true. Dare.
yeah.
It's absolutely true.
So what about you?
I've said no, shorty, to somebody.
No, shorty.
Nah, son.
My go-to line back when I just chose to not partake in the drugs
Is
was,
we should just be friends.
"No, I'm good."
Nah, I'm good. It's
all right,
good.
I have plenty.
All right, Derek, you said you got the
What-
best
Oh,
stories.
hold up, real quick.
Oh, God
Something
damn
that
it.
you guys have never heard. When I was out in California, and you remember at that point, I had never tried marijuana.
Mary Jane.
Now, I was not hip to
The lingo?
the lingo, and in passing, I heard the word edible, and then later, someone I knew gave me a piece of weed cake, and I knew it didn't taste right when I ate it, but I ate it, just out in public, sitting on the beach. Didn't get too crazy. It's pretty hot, but yeah, just
So you just did it. You
I-
indulged. You
yeah.
did you know what happened afterwards?
I don't think anything major happened, but just that happened while I was straight edge, you know.
I injected a marijuana.
All right, Derek. You said
Yeah.
you have the best story.
Well, I don't know if it's the best, but I think they're interesting. It's happened a couple times at least. But I'll start out with the one that was most dramatic, at least for me, because at first I was living in Pasadena at the time, and this guy that I knew, which was just a friend of a friend, sold very cheap pot. Like it was mids, they call it. And those are just terrible, like Mexican brickweed, basically. But this one particular night, he had gotten some good stuff, so I was excited. And I thought, all right, I'll go pick up an ounce from this guy. And I meet him, and he likes to do this. He has this standard arrangement where we meet like on a different intersection of streets. He'll essentially walk into my car, and then we'll drive to another intersection. He'll get out. Like, it's this bizarre like stuff I think he picked up from The Wire. I don't know why he does it. Like, I don't know if he's spent some time in the can or anything. But anyway, it was different. In this time, I pull up, and he is sitting there in a minivan with his children in the car. I walk up, and it's like this fucking asshole is there in the driver's seat. And I'm like, looking around him, I'm like, that's a 6-year-old right there in the driver's seat. That's probably not okay. Oh, who is that on the driver's in the passenger seat? I should say, in the driver's side behind the driver is a car seat with a 3-year-old just staring at me. And I'm like reaching through the window, like,
Oh my god.
here's all the cash, sir. And he's like, here's the weed, and the kid in the back seat's like winking at me, like, stuff's good. He was a kid. But like I was like, this isn't okay. Like,
This is fucked up.
He's
yeah.
not like selling kettle corn. You know, you can't explain this to the wife. But that he did it, so I was just like, I didn't make the crucially bad decision here. So I'm just going to take my part and leave.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was done. You know, I thought that was crazy. I'm done with this. This is done. You know what? Let's go to McDonald's. That's what I thought. I thought the first thing I should do after this was go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
So I go to this McDonald's, which is in Glen Burnie. It's at an intersection, and I'm lined up in this at this red light, about to head into the intersection. And I'm just thinking more about how I'm going to enjoy McDonald's and then smoking pot, etc. So I just light turns green, drive through, and boom, car slams right into me. There's a car sitting in the opposite side of the street light at the McDonald's that was leaving and was making a left. And as I go straight, they just turn left right the fuck into me. And they just hit the front front of the car, like, and I'm driving forward. Can you imagine this from my perspective? I'm sitting there just driving forward in this car, driving right next to me, like 5 feet to my left, just going forward, and then just turns right into me. Like, I just thought they were like, oh shit, don't, like, they just like saw me and they're like, oh, I hate this guy. Like, it was just bizarre. And I was instantly terrified because I knew that the police were coming and that I had a whole bunch of pot on me. And then I was as anxious as all get out. And I get out of the car, and the kid, and it was a kid, behind the wheel of this other car was, and there were 3 people in this car. The driver, though, was a 15-year-old Hispanic kid with no license at all. The police show up, and racism takes over. And they come up to me, and they're like, Ma, I'm sorry we had to trouble you tonight. These kids are out. They're out of control. We'll get them all taken care of. You all right? They didn't hurt you? Didn't talk nothing? They didn't say nothing to you? What'd they tell you? Where'd they tell you they come from? And I'm just sitting there like, I have a bunch of pot. and they could not give a shit. I mean, I was sitting there like, oh, thank God that kid is brown. I mean, I was just, I could, my mind was boggled. And the worst part was the guy's dad got there and he's like, listen, I need you to tell them I was the driver. And I'm like, I'm not going to tell them that I knew who the driver was. So you can tell them that you were the driver. Right. I'm not going to lie for you. But I was, at that point, I was just like I was just high on life. You know, at that point, I didn't need drugs. I was like, oh, this is adrenaline. Maybe I'll just cart drugs around and go get caught by police and then escape narrowly. I felt like Leonardo DiCaprio in Catch Me If You Can at that point. I mean, it was brilliant. And of course, it ended happily. I drove off. Like, actually, it was kind of dramatic because I had a briefcase with all my school books in it that I stuffed the weed into. And my dad, I texted because he was on his way home. I was like, Dad, I got into a car accident. I'll be fine, but can you stop by the accident real quick? So he stops up, and like 2 minutes after the cops interviewing me, they're finally interviewing the Mexican kids. Dad pulls up to this car accident, which is right in the middle of an intersection. I mean, you can't really pull up to an accident in the middle of an intersection. You just sort of drive onto the median or like next to it, and then flashes on. I run over, open his door, throw my briefcase in, slam the door, and go, and like tap on the hood. Like I might as well. He just went off. I was like, that's all I need you for, Dad. I'll see you later. Thanks for taking my books home. And it was brilliant. But
that's incredible.
That's not even the...
What a horrendous but beautiful display of white privilege.
Yeah, white privilege at its very finest. White versus brown, white wins every time. I'm sorry. Even when the white is the one committing the crime. The worst part is that Mexican kid part. And, I mean, he slammed his car into me. I mean, he deserves all the blame. But honest to God, as soon as I got out of the car, the first thing he said to me was, hey, man, why you drive so slow through that intersection? That was the first thing he said to me. The first thing.
I can hear it.
I was like...
I can't too.
I was like, I stoplight turned green, and I was accelerating. I was coming from a stop. And he just... That was his reaction, like his assessment of the situation. He'd been driving faster. So, I wish he'd known to dodge me. But I was...
Doesn't he know how Mario Kart works? God damn it!
Yeah, no, but he had the...
Derek just responded with the
me.
Luigi death glare.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I actually got into a car accident in Maple Lawn like 4 years ago. My friend at the time was driving, and I was in the back seat. Alex, where are you going?
I'll be right back. Jeez.
No one heard Alex say, I'll be right back, but he said, I'll be right back.
And he wasn't paying attention. He was texting, and you know how on medians sometimes they'll have like a little island median, and then like it'll be like separate from the rest of the median that like the trees are growing in, like a curb type deal. This one had like a little island, like a little cement block, and then there was a break, and then there was the rest of the median that had like trees in the middle of the road, whatever. Well, the little island concrete part of the median was like on a slant, almost like a ramp. Well, he was texting, and I was saying, I'm not going to say his name, but I was like, curb from the backseat. He didn't pay attention, but we went up it at like 25 miles an hour, hit the tree, broke his windshield. I start dying of laughter because this was like a 25 mile per hour accident. probably the most avoidable accident I've ever been in.
Yeah.
Well, he turns to the guy in the passenger seat, and I'm not gonna say his name. He goes, "Hey, blank, why didn't you grab the wheel from me?" And I'm like, never heard anybody say that in an accident before. Like, God, come on, you're the passenger. Take the wheel out of my hands.
Yeah, Jesus, why didn't you grab the fucking wheel?
Right. Well,
That's right. That's a great song. I actually heard Nick Offerman sing his marijuana version of that song.
His mom comes and he tells his mother that that deer came in the middle of Maple Lawn. So I'm dying laughing. I have to walk away from the accident because I just thought it was hilarious. But
Doe, a deer, a female deer jumped out in front of me. No. But I actually have another weird drug pickup story.
Okay.
Please share.
But I was actually sitting as I was sitting in my office in a cubicle, just sort of beatering away, poking at my computer keyboard, just wishing for it to be 4 o'clock. And I got a text message from a cook friend of mine who happened to be working in a restaurant that I frequented for lunch all the time at my place of work. And he was texting me that he had a bunch of new pot in and that it was terrific. And of course, all I could think about at like 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever time it was, hey, this sounds great. Might as well just pick that up from him whenever he thinks is good. He suggested that I drop by the restaurant, actually, at lunch. And I thought this was a great idea because I could get a quarter an ounce and a crab cake. It sounded like a no-lose proposition. So he says, I'll just meet you out back. Just meet me around 12:30. So I show up at 12:30, and it should have been my first clue when I couldn't find a parking spot. But I'm driving around, like, in the parking lot, like, out back onto the street, and then into the other street entrance like an asshole, like just waiting for someone to get to their car. And finally a spot opened up, and I was waiting there for like 20 minutes before I got a text from him saying, it's too busy in here. I need you to come into the carryout and pick it up. And I was like, wait a second. This whole parking lot is full. There's got to be at least 20 people in the carryout. I'm not buying drugs from you in a carryout. And he says, no, it'll be fine. And he comes up with this like Ocean's 11 theme, like scheme to figure it out. He's like, you get a styrofoam cup for a soda, but you put the money in that cup, and then I'll come out from the kitchen to say hi to you, but I'll put the weed in a cup of the same size. Then we'll both rest our cups on the counter, but we will take each other's cups. And I'm like, all right,
I've heard this story.
that's pretty fucking good. I kind of like this. This is spy versus spy shit, but I was into it. And I walk into the carryout, get my order, grab my styrofoam cup because I have to do some preparation. I have to go so I go back into the car. I stuff the money in there very carefully, and I go back in. And here he comes, coming out to visit me. My big black drug dealer friend, who is, I should note now, a massive black man. Like he's a very nice guy, but if you didn't know that he was a nice guy, you might be like defensive at first. But he's a very nice guy, and he comes up to me, he shakes my hand, walks around to the soda vending machine, and starts to fill his cup up with more soda. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. He is really committed to the charade. I mean, he probably would have been pissed if I got all the money wet, but wow. Then he started to drink from it. And that's when I realized that he was stoned out of his mind and forgot his own plan. And he said and I said, where's the stuff? And he winks like a fucking stoned idiot. And he says, it's in my pocket. Just reach in and grab it. Drop the money off. And I was like, okay. I can do that. So I sort of went for a little bit of a walk around the carryout because I was thinking, all right, how am I going to fit an entire styrofoam cup in his pocket? And I realized I had to take the money out of it. So I go up to the soda fountain, and I'm trying to pull the lid off and pull the money out and then fill the cup up really quickly and in one move like a fucking magician. And I feel like I did it. I pulled it off. I'm really proud of myself. I walk back over to the guy, and I sort of straddle him. I didn't know I wanted there was 20 people in this carryout. Like there's a TV, like people are eating food. There's 3 cash registers open. 3 cash registers open. Where's that ever true? But anyway, I straddled him to try and like block everyone else's view off from him, and I pocket, and I grabbed the dope, and I'm like, all right, this is.
I was waiting for the moment where you said that you grabbed his cock.
No, well, that's the thing. Like I was
Because you did take a moment to mention that he is a gigantic black dude.
well, and your mind is the one that assumed he had a gigantic black cock to go along with it. But you know, you're looking for that. That's fine. I wasn't. I was just looking for a bag of weed, and I found that, and I was surprised it was easy as it was. But I guess he just assumed, and I guess I should have assumed, that I was going to make the switch simultaneously. You know, one hand goes in with the money, the other hand comes out, the same hand comes out with the bag. But instead, I had just taken the bag. I hadn't put the money in. I figured I'd go ahead and stick that in as soon as I'd confirmed I had the stuff. And but he starts to walk back towards the kitchen, and I'm just like, oh, this could go wrong. This could go badly. If he thinks I just sort of conducted a friendly pickpocket of him.
A friendly reach around.
Yeah. So he's walking back, and the entrance to the kitchen's right next to the cash registers. So I'm just like running. I sort of run up to him right at the last minute, and with the bills crumbled up in my hand, I just stuffed them in that same pocket, and then boom, I punch his cock. I mean, I didn't like punch him in the dick, but I punched my hand into his pocket just to deposit the money, and my hand went so deep, and my enthusiasm was such that my hand just went far enough that I sort of grazed like the cylinder side of his penis. I mean, I could feel, like, I felt a section of it. Like, that's how you know you have a big penis, when there's sections of it, you know? And I felt like a section, an approximation of it, and like he looked at me, and I looked at him, and all of a sudden, like right in that moment, I was so thankful that there were 20 people around us, and I just sort of got up and ran out. I mean, I had all I needed, and he got what he paid for. I was done. You know, the funny thing is, he actually shorted me too. I was paying for a quarter; he got me an eighth. So yeah, we had to meet later that night.
You've been listening to Roommates Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. We very much appreciate your patronage and your loyalship, if those are words. Patronage is. Loyalship probably isn't. Listenership, thank you. Thank you guys so much for listening. I've been Alex O'Neill. Derek, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh no, thank you for having me.
Obviously,
we should call this 2-part episode. We should call it "My Brother, My Roommates, and Me."
that sounds good to me. There was a Yahoo Answers. It had everything. Damien, Ethan, thank you as always for joining me.
Absolutely.
Oh, that last story took so much out of me.
That was wonderful.
Well, now you see why I wanted to bring it as a topic.
You can follow myself on Instagram and Twitter at AlFighter27. My brother Derek is at Your Derek on Twitter. Ethan is at Surrender the Summer on Instagram. That's the only kind of social media he keeps up with. And Damien also on Instagram, Beat Ya Feet _. That's all one word.
Yo, I totally get it now. Because he has a foot fetish, right?
Beat it to your feet.
Oh, snap!
Well,
I'm also on Instagram with the same handle.
Your Derek? Okay. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please rate and review us on iTunes. It helps us out a lot. And that's it. That's all I got, honestly. We will catch you guys
next. Have to edit down this outro.
Yeah, we'll have to catch you guys next time we record. Hopefully, we might actually see Ethan's brother on that one.
Yeah.
Next episode, you guys are down for that?
I'm down.
All right, you guys should send in some questions for my young, almost 18-year-old brother. By the time we record, it'll probably be just after his 18th birthday.
I think it would need to be his 18th birthday with the stuff we talked about.
Yeah, no.
Just make it PC.
Well, it's okay. We're probably like an NC-17 show.
Yeah.
Just talk about dicks in like a sexual fashion. Too much.
Too much.
Makes it NC-17, right?
Thank you again, Derek, for coming on. It's been fun.
Once again, thank you for having me.
Yeah. People who send in questions should send in questions for next episode, though.
Yeah,
Keep in mind that my younger brother will be here.
If you want to send in questions or topics, it's rmpodcast@gmail.com. Excuse me. Oh, and we're on YouTube. You can watch the show there. It's youtube.com/roommatespod. I figured it out. I know it's not super great, but it's what we got. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening.
I do want to thank actually one of our great sponsors, Pornhub.com. I do want to appreciate all the things that they contribute to all the lives, just in general improvement. Pornhub.com, thank you again very much.
And thank you to Carol Smead for getting me drunk. So thank you guys, and good night.
I don't know if you noticed. I think this is the only episode that I didn't say it, but I've made jokes about trying to get sponsors every single episode, just about.
Oh, sorry. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye, video. Hold on 1 second.
You should just